No, I was playing. Hey everybody, welcome to my live stream. Hello, my name is Nomadic Kitty, otherwise known as Kiki. And let me try to set my camera back here a little bit so I can get comfy, y'all, because I got a bad back, y'all. This is my weekly K-pop live stream. Every weekend, um, either it was Sunday nights, not Saturday nights, or if I have something to do. So Saturday or Sunday nights, I do a K-pop live stream, live from my boudoir, my bedroom. I do a K-pop live stream. We have a whole list of things today that I'm going to go through, and that we're going to talk about, and hopefully you guys will understand. We're gonna talk about that RM Weverse letter. We're gonna talk about Min Hee-jin and the updates with the case that she has against ADOR. We're gonna talk about the South Korean president, what he's trying to do to K-pop. What is he trying to do? Why is he trying to do it? And I warned y'all before that the South Korean government is going broke and they coming for K-pop. I told y'all this in my other live stream. So now y'all, they actually released a statement on August 20th. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about all the BTS updates, YG updates. And I'm going to try to get through my list and mark things off my list as I go so I can be concise. At the end of my live streams, usually within 24 hours, I put in the description or the comments timestamps. So just in case you missed something or you just want to go back and watch whatever you want to watch, you can do that. But so I haven't put timestamps in my last two live streams, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, Katina. Hey, hello, hello, hello. I'm just getting started. So I try to put timestamps in my video so you guys can go back and rewatch. Or if you're watching this video and you're coming late, you can go all the way back to the beginning and just watch as it goes. You can do that. Like I said, it usually takes about 2-3 minutes before people start gathering around. And I was supposed to start this at 8, but I decided to start it at 7 just because life be life and y'all life be lifing. And so I do have to mention my birthday. Can you get happy birthday? Happy birthday. Anyway, so we're supposed to, I got a lot of things, like I said, I got a lot of things to talk about today. But it's going to be real quick. So I'm not trying to go over 3 hours. I'm trying to get below that. Trying to get below 2 hours, y'all. Y'all know your girl. Y'all know I'll be like, going over, but I'm gonna try to get things I'm gonna talk about. And like I said, once again, I do have memberships. I like to say a shout out to all my members. I do. I just started memberships last week, so I'm going to be offering more exclusive content and early access to certain videos. There are certain videos that I'm working on, and there are certain things that uh, continue to say, I got you. There's certain things that I'm working on. Always working on new videos. Always working on new content. Again, YouTube is not my job. YouTube is. I have a regular job and a regular life. So I am very busy, but I do have memberships now. So if you like to join, you will get exclusive. And then also I take suggestions if my members or even my non-members, but especially my members, if you want me to do something or write something, y'all know I write fan fiction. Well, y'all may not know, but like you can look me up on Wattpad. I'm Nomadic Kitty FF on Wattpad, Nomadic Kitty, um, Nomadic Kitty, and so y'all can look that up and then join my Wattpad, and then I do fan fiction as well. So there you go. So so let's get down to it. The first thing we always talk about is BTS updates. So we're gonna start off with something fun. It was announced that September 3rd that McDonald's really sugar related. My fan fiction is very sugar centric. I mean, it's not saying that I can't write other stuff, but it's sugar centric. I do write other stuff. I do take requests. But right now I have an ongoing serial story. It's like a K drama and it's sugar related on Wattpad. So yeah, and then I will be putting. Some people requested me to do fan fiction on my YouTube channel, and I could do it. If it's really if it's, I still have to follow by the YouTube rules. So I can't really let loose like I want to let loose, but So yeah, y'all follow me on Wattpad, become a member, and then I will do. Also, if you guys are subscribers, take a look at my shorts, or if you're not a subscriber, take a look at my YouTube shorts. My YouTube shorts, I like it when the mood strikes me. I go and do my anime AI thing when the mood strikes me. The mood has been striking me lately to be a bit more creative. And so people have been liking those. People have been loving those. And then also if you're a subscriber to my channel, if you check the post section, I post a bunch of stuff all the time, like stuff that I don't want to make a shorter video about. Go check that out. So, and then with this video, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up. And I've been a BTS Army for it was a year as of August the 6th. So I am new Army. But I think I publish about 3 videos a week. I do have an ATEEZ video coming up. And I do have my ATEEZ concert video that I'm editing tonight. So that's coming up as well. So I do go to concerts. I think the next concert we're going to is Kai. But I have a whole playlist called vlogs and destinations that has all my concert. I went to the Jin concert. For a lot of you guys know, I was talking about the Jin concert. I went to see Stray Kids, ATEEZ, Kai. Hey, Deidre Mosley, what's up? Hey, hi, how are you? It's a member. Hi, friend. Hi, member. What's up? I was just talking about the memberships, saying that if you guys want to suggest something, then just put it in a comment anywhere on my channel. It'll usually my comments will pop up. I have notifications. So anytime someone's comment, I respond really quickly because it pops up in my notifications. But if you guys have any suggestion for content, I am willing and able to take that task on. I like a good challenge. I'm a very creative person. Um, so there you go. I'm willing to take the challenge on. So, uh, anyway, back to what we're going to start. We're going to start with BTS updates. So what went on with the BTS, the Bangtan boys this week? BTSV is throwing out the pitch in LA to what is it? The LA Dodgers? Child, don't get me up here. Like, okay, there's a baseball team that he's throwing out the first pitch for. Now, I didn't really pay attention to this because whenever somebody famous throws out the first pitch or whatever, like it doesn't really interest me. But I do have to say I did see the fallout because they said that like ticket sales went up, their engagement online went up, and I was like, of course, it's the BTS effect. So of course, you have Kim Tae Young out there doing anything. And I remember he posted on Weverse saying that he was nervous. He was saying that he's a little nervous. So I don't know if he's throwing out the pitch tonight. Or tomorrow night. I don't know what night it is, y'all. Sorry, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. I'm not a baseball fan, so. But y'all can go online and look for it and watch them. And then usually people will repost the video anyway. So I'm just waiting for people to repost a video. Katina, that brings me to my next point. September 3rd, McDonald's has Tiny Tans. Tiny Tans are from what I know, again, I'm new. I know BT21 because I have a lot of BT21 stuff. Tiny Tans, I have one tiny. I know I don't have any Tiny Tan. I don't have any Tiny Tans merchandise. But BTS has with partnership with McDonald's where they're doing Tiny Tans Happy Meals. Now, I'm just warning all you non-BTS people out there. Hello, because I'm Army. It's a good name. I just like to warn all you BTS fans and non-fans out there. When this promotion goes on, McDonald's is going to be flooded. Like from what I hear, again, I wasn't Army during the last McDonald's promo. But, hey, cause I'm Army. But I heard that I know I went to McDonald's when BTS, before they went to the military and they had like that dynamite butter or whatever. And I remember McDonald's was crazy. And I lived in a small town. And I live in a small town now. But I remember that McDonald's was crazy. And I was like, what is going on? And people were like, oh my God, BTS has a meal. And I was like, what? So like Katina said, September 1st, September 3rd, get your kids out the way and take them to Wendy's. Because all the grown folks It's gonna be in the drive-through, including yours truly, being like, can I get 5 Happy Meals? Can I get five? They gonna have to start limiting them Happy Meals. Girl, they gonna have to start limiting them. Cause I mean, oh, I'm drinking AW. AW ice cream sundae. I love it. But girl, I'm telling y'all, September 3rd. People just gonna be buying it and just talk. They look. I would tell people out there, if you are going to go out and buy these McDonald's meals because you're trying to get all 7 of the Tiny Tans toys. Okay, I know, Army, I know y'all. Please do not. If you're not gonna eat the food, because I don't eat McDonald's food, and my kids would get sick of it real quick. Please do not throw out the food. Please take the food and donate it or try to give it to somebody homeless standing on the road. Something. I hate to throw out food. Like I really feel bad like buying food and then throwing it out. It'd be easier if I could just go to McDonald's and be like, look, man, just give me the toy. You don't have to give me no food. Because I feel bad again. I feel real bad throwing out food. I would at least want to give it to somebody, feed it to a stray dog or something. I just feel bad about that, yeah. But I know y'all gonna do it. Y'all ain't gonna eat that food. Y'all gonna be like, I'm gonna give it to my kids, and your kids gonna be like, Mama, Katina said that she heard. Hey, Yasmin. Um, Katina said that she heard that people are gonna try to buy it alone. I would want to try to buy it alone. Deidre said, I know I won't be able to collect all of them, so the RM the sugar one's going to be good. Yeah, I just need I don't know if I'll be able to get all of them because y'all know how these toys, if you don't know how these toys go, they order a lot more of a certain kind than others. So others will be like kind of rare, and then some other ones will be like you just get a bunch of those. So yeah, if I get RM and sugar, I'm good. I don't have to keep buying them. But we'll see, because armies are gonna go crazy. That's what I heard. So this will be the first time I've ever witnessed a promotion like live. I'm gonna go to McDonald's and I'm gonna do a video and I'm gonna report back live which how it was. And again, I don't have I have a McDonald's in my city that stays busy anyway because this is the only McDonald's. I only have one McDonald's in my city. One. So I don't know how that's gonna go. Okay. So we'll see. It may not be that bad. There may not be that many BTS army where I live. I live in a small town. So we'll see how it is. But these big cities like Dallas and Fort Worth and stuff like that, I couldn't imagine like Plano, Frisco, like the cities that are around me. It's gonna be crazy, y'all. Yeah, there's gonna be, yes, BTS lover Jungkook. There's gonna be BTS toys at McDonald's September 3rd in most, I don't know which country it's going to be in, but it's going to be in America for sure. But you have to check online um, to see what country it's going to be in. You're going to see if you can buy them. If not, Johnny won't get a Happy Meal that day. It would be nice if we could buy them. You know, you just said you can't wait. I can't wait either. This is my first promotion, so I'm very excited. I am very excited. So that's coming up. Also coming up, BTS news. BTS is coming, their concert, they're remastering some of their concerts. I was trying to go online and understand y'all, but I kind of wasn't understanding. So from what I learned from HYBE and the announcement in Weverse, that they're going to be remastering concerts and then coming in September, I think September 20th, they're going to be remastered and then they're going to put them in the theaters. That's what I read. But again, I don't know if it's specific concerts or or either way, let me just stop playing. Either way, regardless of what concert it is, I've never been to a OT7 BTS concert. I've just been to Jin and that's it. So there you go. You don't know about the first one, but the first one. What's the first one? It was a mess in the US, was it? Gosh. Okay. Well, let's get ready for the mess. But yeah, they're coming to the theaters and I definitely want to go. Now, I understand that theater ticket may be higher than what a normal theater ticket is, but we'll see. Oh, the McDonald's was a mess, y'all. So it's a warning that the McDonald's was a mess. We'll see. Again, I live in a small town, so I don't know. But my McDonald's stay busy regardless. I don't know. I don't know. But yes, BTS is is coming to a theater near you, where their concerts are going to be in theaters. And they're supposed to provide more information, I think, within the next week about what's going to happen. And so y'all stay tuned for that. That's in later September. So BTS, y'all give a round of applause to BTS's marketing department. Cause that's who makes these brand deals happen. It's the marketing department that makes these things happen. So y'all, round of applause for the marketing department, because really that's who brings the deals in. The same thing about throwing out the first pitch. That's big hits marketing. That's them doing their job. Katina said when they had the McDonald's thing along a couple of years ago, they barely had BTS McDonald's bag. People couldn't even get a damn bag. Girl, no. Girl, don't be telling me. Oh, girl. I might have to drive to a McDonald's further out. Like I may have to go to the city next to me, which is even smaller. But they do have they have a brand new McDonald's, so I may have to go out a little bit. So I may have to go. I may have to go out a little bit. Girl, I will go out. I will go out, girl. I'm not scared. Like I don't care if I have to go all the way out to wherever I gotta go. Like I don't care where I got to go. I will go. I will go there. Yes, they had more outside of the US. Hmm. We'll see. We'll see. Because like I said, if I pull up to the McDonald's and there's a line of like 40 cars, I ain't gonna be able, or I don't be able to do it. I was have to go early in the morning, but they only have breakfast in the morning at McDonald's. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, if I got to drive to a smaller town, I will do it. I will drive to a smaller town. I'm not scared. I live by a bunch of small towns, so um, I'll go. Like I don't care. I ain't scared. I'll drive. I'll drive all the way down the road because I live by a bunch of. I live in a small town and a bunch of other small towns. You stopping in the first one to see what the deal is. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to do it in my town and we'll see what the deal is. But so yeah, y'all get ready for that Tiny Tans meal. And again, that kind of came out of nowhere. Like I was surprised that they were doing that they were still doing I didn't know BTS was still doing the Tiny Tans, y'all. I'm just gonna keep it real. I didn't even know they were still doing the Tiny Tans thing. But of course, like why would I think that they would just leave money on the table like that? I'm like, what am I thinking? Like HYBE and Big Hit ain't dumb. They ain't gonna leave money on the table like that. Uh for they could, but again, like I said, I wasn't around when you guys were experiencing BT21 and Tiny Tans. I barely know anything about Tiny Tans. I watched their little music videos on YouTube and I thought they was cute. I was like, oh, look at their little music videos. But I didn't know like, and I've seen a few other like promotional videos with Tiny Tans and I thought they were cute. But I didn't know like what was going on. But Tiny Tans, yeah. So yeah, BTS movies, Tiny Tans, vetoing out the pitch, and then I think I don't know whose social media. Do I have any of the Mattel BTS dolls? No, I do not. I do have sugar bobbleheads. I have three of those, but I don't have. But I did see the Mattel dolls on Amazon. I did see those there. So we'll see. We'll see. Because I thought about buying a sugar one, but I don't know. I'm like, where am I going to put it? I got to find some place to put this damn doll. So we'll see with the BTS merchandise. Because I'm trying to like get more merchandise, but I need to put it somewhere. I don't really have a lot of places to put it. Like I don't have like a shelf. I don't have like enough space, like on my TV stand or my entertainment center to do it. Hello artists. Um. Uh. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. You got something from Five Below online? Oh, I need to get on Five. I got my BTS Funko Pops on at I got the Funko Pops at at Five Below. I was surprised they had it on sale. I didn't know Five Below even sold BTS stuff. Do I have BTS? I have a lot of merch. I have albums. I have a light stick. I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of BTS stuff. One day I'll show y'all all my. I got stuff for Christmas. I have BTS stuff. I have a BTS ring. That's my ring. My daughter bought me. I have uh I have BTS bracelets. Well, this is not a bracelet. This is a bracelet. These are BTS bracelets my daughter made. But I have jewelry. I have a bunch of stuff. Luffy says, I don't understand the Eugene situation. The only thing I understood was Hani lied about being bullied. And me and Jim. Yeah, we're gonna talk about me and Hee-jin thing. And once I get through my church announcements. BTS announcements. You didn't know BTS rings, you didn't know BTS had rings? Oh yeah, girl. They got all kinds of jewelry online on Amazon. There's a funny dub video that has to do with the dolls. Is it? Oh wow. Okay, I have to y'all be telling me so many good stuff. I gotta check it out. But yes, we're gonna get to the Minhee Jin thing. I'm gonna get to that. That's my highlight of the that's the main topic. So then we got BTS was on the beach. J Hope posted. It was J Hope, RM, and Jimin on the beach. Once again, Jimin is still looking shy and sad. But okay, all right. Everybody keep telling me about Cameron Phillips. I don't know who that person is, but you're like the third or fourth person that's mentioned Cameron Phillips. So I have to take a look who this person is. So yeah, they did pictures, and Jimin was still up there looking kind of shy and peaked. So I don't know, but it was good to see Jimin, J Hope, and RM at the beach. They just out here, and then there was a video of Jimin on the beach with V, and they were in the water, and it was really cute. Who's my bias? Sugar's my bias, and so it was very cute to see V and I almost said Sugar, no, not Sugar. And then J Hope did post a bunch of pictures and video, like of them recording pictures of V, and he did have a picture of him and Sugar in the mirror, and it was good to see Sugar. And it looks like the same day that they did the video from last Saturday because they were wearing like the same outfits they were wearing. So Sugar's my bias, unfortunately. May I rest in peace. Y'all pray for me. We never really get to hear from my bias and anything. And we talked about that last weekend, so that was good. Then we're gonna get to the last thing about the BTS updates. RM's letter. RM wrote a letter, and let me tell you, Weverse, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves because the translation on Weverse is so bad that it's trash. Like it is so. I don't understand in this technological day and age how much money they put into Weverse that the translator is so awful that like I don't barely even understand what they're talking about. That I have to go and wait for someone to translate it, or I just retranslated myself. So if you look on my channel in the post, I had RM's letter and I retranslated it into something that was readable because you went to High Boy. Yes, I love High Boy. JK and Tay was at the gym. Yeah, JK looking like a Mack truck. JK was looking so good. Oh, let me. Okay, I'm too grown for JK. I'm just gonna leave it alone. JK, no. Him and V just in the gym was like swole. But yeah, you go to High Boy. High Boy would translate it, but I translated it and I wrote it down and I put it in my post so everybody could read it because again, it made no sense. I was reading it and I was like, that's the little Korean that I know. I was like, that's wrong. That's not the right. So I was like, okay, I just had somebody Korean translate it. I was like, translate this into something that's readable. I can read. My bias is Sugar. Do I prefer In Your Fantasy or Lemon Drop? In Your Fantasy because I'm a dirty girl. I want to talk about ATEEZ later on today because I went to the concert and I have a concert video coming up and a concert overview of ATEEZ, by the way. But I like both of those songs. But In Your Fantasy is more my speed. I was like, hey, they wrote this song for me. They were like, baby girl got a type. He's like, I know what you want. I know what you like. They're like, baby girl got a type. I'm like, sir, have you been looking up my history? I'm like, where's my cell phone at? The MF is in my cell phone. They are. I was like, looking at my history. How you know? But anyway, so RM letter, I read it. I read it a few times, and I can kind of read between the lines. You know, he can't really say what he really wants to say, but I can read it, and you can, like I said, for me, it just seemed like RM was frustrated. It just seems like he was kind of frustrated, apprehensive. Um, um trying to explain himself. Like there's some lines in there saying that he hopes the album is good and that they thought that he was basically, I'm paraphrasing, saying that he was saying that when they came together they thought it was going to be easy, and I guess he was just kind of saying that it has been probably more difficult than what they thought. They've been in the military now, and they've each had their own solo careers. So I just read the letter over and over again, and I could just kind of sense RM's kind of frustration. Like it was a sense of sadness and kind of apprehension and frustration all in there, and hope. Like, I'm doing the best that I can. What's my favorite K-pop group? BTS. BTS. Did they now? Yes, Katina, they did. He was looking at my stuff. Hello, Aubrey. But yes, I felt like RM was kind of like lamenting and kind of talking out loud. That he probably was like, I thought this was going to be easier, but it's different. And then now it's, more challenges, been better. And then he was, saying that we all have to come together. Do I know Stray Kids? Yes, I went to a concert. I have two Stray Kids videos on my channel. He seems like he doesn't know where they're going. I think not knowing is okay for now. Your favorite K-pop is Stray Kids. Of course, Felix. Felix is under my bed. Shit. I'm like, stop the live stream time now. I'm like, Felix is under my bed. Like, hold on, y'all. I'll be like, cut the live stream, bro. Turn the live stream off. It's time for me to go. If Felix is under my bed, it's time for me to cut the live. I'm like, I gotta go, y'all. I got to go. Bye. Do I know? Yes, in hyping, I went to their concert in 2023, so I do know. I'm not a stay. I'm not a engine. My sister in law is a ATINY though. That's why I be going to concerts with her all the time. So you subscribe to my channel, you'll see my concert vlogs. Next concert, I said before, I'm going to go see Kai. Kai from EXO. We might go see TXT and P1 Harmony, but we don't know yet. I'm trying to talk her into go to TXT. She probably watching this video going, we don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, hello, it's Ari Edits. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a new story. Felix under my bed. All right, it's time to go. Last stream over. I'll see y'all next week. I'll be like, come on, Felix. Y'all lost your mind. Let me stop. The RM letter. I just felt like, yes, that he was kind of like nostalgic and reminiscing, probably saying that he's trying to do his best. But I could sense like there's a hint of frustration in there, and probably like a fear of the future. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll do our best, y'all. So we'll see how we can only wait and see how it go. Again, I said it before in my other live streams that the music industry, the K-pop industry, the music industry is always changing, always evolving. BTS has been away unofficially, officially for like 2 years. Now, Jin and J-Hope have come out and made music. Jin's come out with 2 albums. J-Hope's came out with his 3 songs. But the music industry has changed. It's different being solo than being in a group. So, yes, I have heard of the new group Cordis. I'm going to talk about Cordis in a minute. We're going to get on to the HYBE updates. So I wish the BTS the best, and we'll see. And hopefully my bias will come out of hiding. Amen. Dear Lord, dear Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Allah, please let my bias come out of hiding. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay, that's my prayer. That's my prayer for today. And Jimmy asking, what color are you? I don't expect them to be the same. I'm willing to meet them where they are at now. Thank you, Katina. Yes, he was saying that they have all pretty much doing kind of like their own personality and have their own thing now. And that, I don't have a bias, and I do have a bias in Cordis, but I don't know his name. I don't know their names yet. So on to Cordis. So that's the BTS updates. We'll see how it go. We said a prayer for Sugar, and may he show up. And so we're gonna go on to the BTS updates. I mean, not the BTS updates, but the HYBE updates. So here's some of the updates in the industry. Number one, yes, Cordis debuted. They have 2 songs. They came out, their first song I liked, and then their second song, again, I don't know the names of these songs because they came out two music videos. One of the performance videos, they're on the desert and they're like on treadmills, and it's really cute. And there's one guy that always catches my eye. And usually the person that catches my eye is kind of like my first bias. And I gotta figure out what his name is. But I'll find it and come back and report back to y'all which one I think is my bias. But Cordis is very, 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 very young. Like my child young. Like very young. They're babies. To me, they're babies, baby. They're bubbles. They're bubbles. They're babies. They're really, really, really young guy. But they produce their music, write their music. Y'all know how Bong PD love all that. And they're obviously talented. And I hopefully to see how they go in the future. I subscribe to their channel. So I try to see what they're doing. I look at their shorts. They're like my little sons. They're like my little K-pop kids. Like they're so cute. Your favorite is James. Oh, everybody see James got, I don't know. James might be, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see which one. Because it's one of them that my eye always goes to. And so you don't see them like that, but you wish them well. I do wish them well. Marlon, don't come over here. I see you. Y'all, Marlon is my friend, like my friend. like like we know each other like for real, not internet, but like we've been out, we like, yeah. I'm sad that some of the Stray Kids member have to go to the military. I am very sad. And hopefully they will carry on. Like I forgot that they're going to the military. But Stray Kids, they had the best selling. That's another thing in my K-pop updates. Stray Kids had the best selling tour this year, hands down. I was reading the numbers and looking what things were written, and they have like the best selling tour last year. And like I said, their concert was stunning. Their concert had a lot of lasers, and I like a lot of lasers. And I had a lot of fun. They were very professional. Stray Kids had one of the best bands. I don't know who their band is, but they had one of the best concert bands I have seen. Their band was phenomenal. Like their band was on it. I mean, then they gave like time, they gave 5 minutes for the band. So they said, here's the Stray Kids band, and they each played their instruments. That band was, I mean, the crowd was like cheering. The crowd was going crazy over the band. The band it was like these five brothers. The band was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I'm like, after that I left, I was like, I want to know more about that band because that band was good. That band was phenomenal. So it was good. I hope they go in together and get out quickly. So do I. I hope they get out quickly. And come out. I hope when they go in, they are managed as well that Big Hit and HYBE did BTS. Big Hit and HYBE, even though BTS was in the military, they always had stuff coming out to keep them relevant. And I hopefully that's the blueprint for other agencies. Phyllis and Valentine don't have to go because yeah, they're Australian citizens. They're not. Wait, you went to the concert? I went to the Stray Kids concert. I did. I went to the Stray Kids concert. I have concert video on my channel. I went to the Stray Kids concert, and I did a video about Stray Kids too. That was kind of popular. And I went to the Stray Kids concert, and I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, hopefully their career is managed. And speaking of Stray Kids, JYP made a lot of money. JYP is like the second. They made the second most revenue. HYBE was number one. JYP is number two, and SM was number. No, SM hasn't reported their numbers. So YG was number three, and SM hasn't reported their numbers yet. So JYP made a lot of money, and all because of Stray Kids, because Stray Kids killed that tour. They did a prolific world tour. To my girl, I'm so lucky, girl. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Stray Kids is up there in my top 5 concert experiences. Their set design was so good. Their performances, their backup dancers, their band, their set design, their lasers, everything was on point for. Even though I'm not a Stray Kids fan, like I know 3 Stray Kids songs going into it, maybe 2.5. Like that's it. I don't. Stray Kids is just not my kind of music. They're talented, but it's just not for me. Like yeah, I like Felix's accent. You going to their Karma tour? Lisa said it's nice to see another older black woman in the K-pop. Oh, I'm new to K-pop, but yes, Lisa. I'm here. I'm here. But I'm new to K-pop. I got into K-pop because my sister-in-law was into K-pop and she drugged me to a concert, a TXT concert in 2022, and it just went from there. But yes, I'm real old, but oh. Hey Marie, you ain't missed too much. We talking about the BTS updates. Now we're talking about updates. So YG updates. Okay. You found some weird stuff about JYP? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. You found out some weird stuff about JYP this week. He's married to the niece of a super creepy cult. That's what I was saying. I said that last week. They said that JYP was in a cult. Started a new church. Yeah, JYP. I told y'all JYP is really religious. Really religious. Like he has like Bible study. I told y'all last week. He has a Bible study every week that other trainees and K-pop singers go to. And people said that he was in a cult. That's what I said last week. I said, y'all know JYP, he really religious. Like really. And he's been really religious for a long time. I read a comment today saying it's not twice that it's giving JYP as much attention as Stray Kids. Yeah. But yeah, I heard about, why a cult though? There's a lot of cults in South Korea. There's a lot of them in South Korea. What are the three songs I know? I know God's Menu. I know Boom, Boom, Boom. I know that song. And I can't think of the other one that I know. I can't think. So yeah, I heard about JYP being in a cult. I heard that a while ago. But there are a lot of cults in South Korea. There are a lot of small religious groups that blend in Christianity and like the shamanism, and they all have some kind of weird leader. Like it's a thing in South Korea. There are a lot of small religions that are offshoots from Christianity. They have like evangelical preachers, like Tammy Faye Baker and Jimmy Swagger. They have a lot of that in South Korea. They have a lot of charismatic preachers. Like what we know back in the day, for those of us in America, you know who the Bakers are, Jimmy and Tammy Faye Baker, Jimmy Swagger, like people like that, like televangelist kind of shit. Like he says, I keep the business and that separate. He does say that. And then he says, he doesn't force his trainees and idols to attend. That if they come, they want to come. However, yeah, I mean, he doesn't force them to attend. But there is a level of like proselytizing. Y'all know JYP and Bang PD used to be really good friends. They are still good friends. But one of several reasons why they had a falling out, they said is because of the religious stuff. Because Bang PD is not into all that. And JYP is like heavily into that. Yeah, there's been some K-pop idols that have come from cult families. I forgot which ones, but there are idols that actually come from cult families. There is a huge, we'll get into this one day. There is a huge conspiracy theory about K-pop and sectarian South Korean cults. There's a huge conspiracy theory, several, about cult symbolism in K-pop. So they used to try to say BTS was in a cult, y'all. Y'all remember that? They were saying BTS was in a cult. I don't believe that. But yes, there is a lot of conspiracy theories. One day we're gonna come back on the video next week, and I'm gonna tell y'all about the cult symbolism, about the Illuminati, about all kinds of theories. Now, I'm not saying I believe these theories, y'all. I'm not saying I believe this, but this is what I've heard. People have been saying this for years about K-pop. That there are K idols, whether they be in the movie industry, the music industry, that do come from rich cult family. Baby, if you have not watched that Netflix series about them Korean cults, you need to go watch it. I forgot the name. I'm gonna look up the name of the Netflix series and tell y'all the series too, because these cult members, there's a cult member, like it has to do with. Wait a minute, it has to do with the album sales, y'all. And this is not a conspiracy. This is truth. There is a cult that still owns a bunch of record shops in South Korea. And so they were kind of like the pipeline. Girl, it's a whole thing. All I gotta say is look it up. Of course, back in the day there was record stores more prevalent. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Oh my God, thank you, Lisa. You heard about this K-pop too? They did a series. I forgot the Netflix series. But there is a cult that owned a bunch of stores a bunch of album stores in South Korea, like prominent ones, especially at the time. In South Korea, there's still album stores because people still buy physical albums. So before we had Weaver, so you could buy them online and stuff like that, in South Korea, they would go to these record stores and people would just mass buy them, just like they do now. So they had prominent record stores, and I forgot the name of the chain, but it was owned by a cult, y'all. And apparently, this cult allegedly would have these agencies give them donations in order to sell their records, their albums, their K-pop albums, to push them to the front, to have like certain positions in the store. It is a whole ass thing. Like, I need to do a whole video about that because it blew my jaw dropped. I did, and this lady runs this cult in this farm, and then children have disappeared. It's a whole thing. Child, it is a whole thing. Like, it blew my mind that the cult activity, that at least in that way, I know it's true because they do own these records, these K-pop stores and these record shops. Wasn't there a video? Wait a minute, hold on. Luffy wants Niku. Wasn't there a video saying that the rich are the ones that control the K-pop? Yeah, and who perform? I tell you, that's why I don't like them K-pop. Y'all know how much I hate them Survivor shows. Y'all know how much I hate them K-pop Survivor shows. I hate those shows. I hate those shows. Those shows are a setup. They're fake. Yes, you Google it. Yes. Right. That many people have gone missing. Yes. They had these people working on these farms for free. They had a bunch of them. They give all their money over to this cult leader, and then they work on these farms all day for free. Girl, look up Baby. There's a cult lady, but her name is Baby. They call her Baby, even though she's like a 67-year-old lady. And this lady has farms, like, where people were working, and like if you were disobedient, people would up and disappear. They would take the people's pensions, take the people's money, take the people's retirement money. Baby, it's a whole rabbit hole, girl. Once you fall down that rabbit hole, you ain't never gonna get out that MF rabbit hole. Like, you will be like, what? You'll be like, wait a minute, what? And she would have these parades where she would dress up, girl. Baby ain't no joke in South Korea. I was like, this old lady called, and then she had all these young lovers. Child, I keep telling y'all, the K-pop industry is shady, y'all. It is shady AF, y'all. That's it. Yeah, Sonara Records is the name of the record store. You did watch what Island? The Island, you still in? It went in HYBE. Yeah, people disappeared, Marie Miller. Yes, people disappeared. Kids. There's one story of a kid, an 8-year-old kid that was just unruly. And they supposedly fed this kid, chopped this kid up and fed him to the pigs, supposedly, allegedly. It's a whole thing. Like, I sat there and watched it. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what? And so this K-pop cult had this cult, not K-pop cult, but this cult had connections allegedly to the K-pop industry. And like, your album, she owned all these prominent record stores, and like, your album, if you didn't like Kiss the Ring, like, your album couldn't be in her stores. And so it was like a big deal. Like, it's a story that I stumbled upon when I was first getting into K-pop, that I was like, this can't be real, and it's a very real thing. So one day I'm gonna come on here and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna pull up all the stuff, what the Netflix show was, because it is a crazy story. It is apparently one of the biggest called the Moonies, yes, was a big part in the start of the K-pop industry. Yes, the Moonies they have documentaries out there about the Moonies. And I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. The Moonies have connections to where I live, and not the city, but the area that I live in, Carrollton, Texas. They are still around. The Moonies are still around. Like, I live, like, the city where I live, not too far from, is one of the biggest expat Korean communities in America, besides in Koreatown and LA. And the Moonies are still around. Like, they're out here in Texas. What I hate is they won't let them out their contracts unless they pay more money. That, yeah, they won't. That's just the contracts. That's just how it is in Korea. It's always been that way. YouTube Chicken Marie says she would have watched, but she afraid she gonna have nightmares. Girl, it'll make you think, give everything a side eye. When I saw these documentaries and I went down that rabbit hole and started researching, I gave the whole K-pop industry got a side eye. Then when I started to learn Korean and met two people that work in the industry, that's why the whole industry gives a huge side eye. Huge side eye. Huge. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else before I move on. Y'all know these chaebols, these people who run Korea, and these cult leaders. You know these cult leaders have kids. Don't you know these chaebols and these cult leaders have children, and then they set their children up with K-pop singers. And then there's a member of a prominent group that was supposedly dating a large cult member's daughter. I'm gonna say less. I'm gonna say less. But yes, there is a K-pop group that I won't say the name, but a member of the K-pop group was dating. Oh, I'm sorry, the granddaughter of like a cult member. Like she and they have lots of money. Like they own property, they own business all over South Korea. But their grandfather, her grandfather was a cult. He started a cult. And then after he got all this money, he started buying up all these businesses in South Korea, and that's how they got their money. But these people set their kids up with K-pop members all the time, either to marry them, to date them, to extort them, to blackmail them. Oh yeah, like that's the whole thing. If you're a chabo, you want your daughter to go date a prominent member of a boy band. That's kind of like what you say. Like if you want to get ahead, what's the best thing to do is to marry somebody else rich and famous. And these cult members and their families and these chables, they pull strings all over. They can get you brand deals. They can get you promotions. They have like reaches not just in South Korea, but sometimes all over the world. So it's advantageous. So they push their kids up at these K-pop parties and these listening parties and these museum openings, and they push their kids to date these K idols, whether they be a actor, actress, singer, sports person. They push their kids, their daughters, and their daughters are influencers all over the internet. I won't say no names, but some of these they hang out with K-pop singers as friends. They take videos and pictures with them. Oh, I'm hanging out with such and such in this group, and oh, I'm at this party and such is here. Child, and you look in this person's background. Yeah, their family is rich, but it started with a damn cult leader. Like it started with their grandfather or great grandfather was some cult leader that swindled people's money and bought up a whole bunch of business. But again, that's another time. That's another story for another time, honey. Because I could go on that for hours. Who spill? I'm not spilling that tea today. Baby, I ain't gonna get me in trouble. I ain't getting reported on. But yes, there was a prominent member that was dating like and she's pretty well known. Like I mean, she's well known in South Korea, I would say. Here she in America, you would not know who she was. But in South Korea, she's an influencer. She's dating this person is dating a prominent Korean actor. One of my favorites. One of my favorites. What was he? What's the first thing he was in? What is it? Boys Over Flowers? He was in that. Let's just put it that way. She dating him. Her family shady. You think you know who it is, just a girl? Yeah, I do. I do have. I'll come on here and we'll do a live stream next weekend and we'll talk about the cults. You think you know who it is? She know who it is. Hi, Shelling P. She just a girl know who I'm talking about. She dating him now. Do I watch K dramas? Not often. I like the period. I like the horror ones and the period K dramas. But I do. But I don't know like the actors and stuff. But I do know this particular actor. He's very famous, and he's very famous. So I do watch some. I watch ones. I'm not like into the actors and actresses. Like I don't know them by name, but I do know a few of them. Like a few of them I've gotten to know because they've been in the same dramas. But I like the period ones and the horror ones. But this particular actor is dating someone, allegedly dating someone famous, and this particular lady that he's dating has also dated a member of this prominent boy band, allegedly, and supposedly her family has ties to all kinds of cults and all kinds of stuff. So Period ones, like the ones that take place back in the day, like in the history ones. Like the King's Affection is my favorite one of all time. I like the magical ones. I like I don't like the romantic ones. Like I like horror ones like Sweet Home and The Train to Busan, and I like King's Affection. I like something to take place either back in the day or it's a horror. Either one. Yeah. Yeah, the historic ones. The period pieces, the historic ones. Those are the ones I like. You know what, the tea is hot right now, baby. Whew. The tea is burning. I can tell y'all some things, but anyway. So anyway, let's move on to YG. All right, Deidre. Come on now. All right, girl. Come on now. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's a whole rabbit hole I fell into. I fell in that rabbit hole back in November. I was like, what? Who? What? I was like, who is it? I was like, what? What? Oh, my Lord. Like, Lord have mercy, you know. King's Affection is my favorite. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite. And Cafe was it? I forgot the Cafe one. I like the Cafe one. But yeah, King's Affection is like my number two. My number two. So there you go. But anyway, on to the YG news. I've spilled enough tea today. On to the YG news. So the YG updates is Baby Monster is going to be on a TV show. Now, I didn't know Blackpink was on some kind of reality TV show. So Baby Monster is going to be on a reality TV show, y'all, where they live in a house and I guess they hang out and they do house things. I don't know. Y'all tell me. But apparently Blackpink was on a show that was like that. He said Kante Dante says, I like the Korean reality game shows, even if they are heavily scripted. They are like the super cheesy zombie verse, girl zombie verse. Me and my daughter like that. Agents of Mystery is so fun and cheesy. Devil's Plan. I haven't seen that one, but Zombie Verse is our favorite. Like we love it. Yeah. So Zombie Verse is good. There you go. Zombie Verse is good. That even though it's fake, but we like it. We love my kids don't like nothing K-pop, but they like Zombie Verse. And then Physical 100. That me and my daughter love Physical 100. We love Physical 100. But yes, Baby Monster has a TV show coming out, y'all. Blackpink according to the YG man, Blackpink has a new album coming out in November. And I said, and my reaction was, huh? Zombieverse is like where it's like a fake reality show where these zombies attack and they have to do like these challenges to try to get away from the zombies. It's a really, really fun show. But yeah, zombie thing. So yes, Blackpink got a new album coming out in November. What y'all think about that? Y'all excited? I did a whole autopsy of that. I'm gonna do an autopsy of that Blackpink concert because y'all, I talked about it enough to I'm just like at this point I can just throw my hands up and just laugh because again, as a casual blink, I'm just like, so we'll see how this album do. Again, they came out with that song Jump and I was like, all right, ladies, okay. But I like Blackpink, y'all. Andy said over Blackpink. The last album was a little disappointing. Dang! Which solo album did I like the most? That's a baited question. I think Rosé's solo album sounded more natural and sounded more like Rose. I like Lisa. Lisa is my girl. Lisa's my bias. But her album, okay. Jenny had some songs on there that was good. Jisoo, she just stayed in her lane. But Rose to me was the most authentic to what I think Rose should be. But even though I don't like that kind of music, like Opta, no, that's not no. But I like Jenny. I like some of her songs. Soul City is an underrated song by Jenny. But they solo albums I've talked about it before. It felt a little bit disjointed and a little bit too over the top for me. But again, my bar for girl groups is real high because I don't like girl singers or girl groups. Like I'm not saying I don't like them, but I'm just saying, you know. Okay. That's what they say. We see in November. When November comes, they said they're not even working on anything yet. They're all over. And yeah, they still on tour. Jisoo and Jenny is your bias. I said I have to do a video about Jisoo. So we'll see. Hong Jun. Sungjae's my dude. I love Sun. You never like Blackpink, but individually you think they're better. I had a lot of people say that. I don't. What is my favorite song by Blackpink? Pink Venom. And we the girls, we the girls, we the girls. I like that song too. And I was upset they didn't do like a video for that song. We the girls, we the girls. It's that pink venom. It's that pink venom. Oh, I like Blackpink style of music. Like it's much more, you know. I love XG. I absolutely positively XG. Seong Hyun, how do I what? I absolutely love XG. I think XG and Young Posse are like, and I don't like girl groups, but I like XG. But I do listen to XG and Young Posse. Like it's in my workout rotation. Thank you. Hello, No 81. Thank you. Well, I don't have a favorite in hyping song because I'm not in hyping. I typically enjoy female pop here in the States, but I tend to like the guy groups way better when it comes to K-pop. I agree. I agree. I like Jessie. Newsflash. Newsflash. I love me some Jessie. That is my girl. You know. Newsflash. Love Jessie. No 81. Thank you, No 81. Yeah, November. So we'll see in November. I will be ready for the Blackpink album. I mean, we'll see. I'm not gonna drag them. I'm not gonna drag them. So Jesse went on break. Jesse got in trouble with the Korean media. I talked about this last year when it happened, but if you look it up, Jesse, there was an incident that, if y'all don't know, there was an incident that happened with Jesse where she was outside a club and some guy came up to her and wanted an autograph, and then she was with some other people, and she kind of waved him off and politely said no, but then the dude wouldn't take no for an answer, and then the guy ended up, make a long story short, the guy ended up getting punched by a guy that was in her entourage or one of her friends of a friend, and it was a big scandal in Korea. The end. Why was this a scandal? I couldn't tell you. They act like Jessie did something. She didn't do anything. All she did was run off, and they called the police, and it turned out the guy who got punched, he was like 17, 18 years old. I don't know why he was hanging out at the club at midnight, but okay, that's neither here nor there. But they got all mad at Jessie because of that. So I don't know. Yeah. Oh, it was really ridiculous. It really was. And they blamed Jessie and they drug her for filth and ran her out of South Korea, basically because of that. It wasn't her fault. She didn't punch the guy. She didn't tell the guy to hit the guy. She was basically standing there. They have it on CCTV, and she was basically standing there, and she was trying to stop the guy from arguing with him, and you know. It was a drunk guy. Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, they blame Jessie like she hit the guy, like it wasn't her. I was like, how is that her fault? Like she's gonna control what another man gonna do to another man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like in a situation like she grabbed the dude and was like, come on, man, and the guy just kept going. You know, everything is a scandal in Korea. Everything. You breathe wrong. You know, it was just weird. Everything's a scandal. It's weird there, but that's why Jessie left. You know, so unfortunately, like, yeah, I'm like, I ain't finna get in front of, like, what was she supposed to do? I said she's supposed to jump into two guys and be like, no, you guys don't fight. I'm telling you right now, if I didn't been with people where people fought before, I didn't been out with friends and the two dudes, they knew each other and they fought. I'm not finna jump into nobody's fight with two men. You would think I'll be sitting there like this. Well, you know, I'm just gonna back up and I'm gonna get out the situation. I'm not finna jump in the middle of two men fighting. I'm not. Okay, you're from France. Bonjour. Thank you, no, bonjour. You know, like I'm not gonna sit up here and fight. Y'all, y'all expect Jessie to get in front of two men, girl. Thank you, Luffy. Speaking of Luffy, One Piece season 2. I'm so excited. I'm a One Piece fan. I'm so excited. That first season was good. Even my kids liked it. My kids was like, it's good. They love One Piece. You saw that? Yeah. I love One Piece. Oh my God. I love it. I love it that it's cringe. So cringe. I like One Piece. Like, I like it that it's kind of cringe. That it's kind of goofy. But that's how the anime and the manga is. It's kind of goofy. But thank y'all. I appreciate it. Y'all coming here back again. But that's YG. Let me see what else we got. Blackpink new album. Y'all have a whole list just to keep me straight, okay? K-pop Demon Hunter has a movie coming out, which they have a movie coming out, which is gonna be a sing along. It's gonna be in the movie theater. So y'all make sure y'all. I know y'all like K. I did a review about K-pop Demon Hunter on my channel, so y'all can check what I thought about K-pop Demon Hunter. I didn't drag it too bad, but I didn't really like K-pop Demon Hunter. Like I thought it was a good start, and I thought it was okay, but it ain't my thing. You know, people were gushing over it. The music is good though. So I plan to do another K-pop Demon Hunter video. I don't know when. Probably this coming week or maybe the next week. I'm going to talk about the K-pop industry and K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm going to talk about that and the industry and how this has there's a bunch of chatter in the industry about it. So people are talking. Y'all, if y'all don't think that K-pop Demon Hunters has the industry shook right now. Like they shook. They like this. They is shook over K-pop Demon Hunters. Baby, everybody, from everything that I've indicated, what I've been told, this little Netflix movie got the industry shook. Like they don't know what to do about this because it is showing, they everywhere. K-pop Demon Hunters is everywhere. And so the K-pop industry in Korea is shook. Like they are in panic mode. Full-fledged panic mode behind the scenes over this. Because this has gained so much money. It's charted. They're going to come out with, I hear they're going to be coming out with a TV show, maybe a live action movie, maybe a full-blown album this time. Like this has the Korean industry shook. They don't even know what to do. Because this has put a dent in their little industry. It put a big dent in it. Because it proves that K-pop, I've said it before, is so saturated and it's so watered down now that you can't tell one group from the next. All the songs sound alike. K-pop Demon Hunters came along and was like, baby, hold my drink. Because we finna tell you, that little movie created by Sony is showing the industry how it's done. Which proves to what I've seen, if you make good music, the people will come. All these concepts and these starving little girls and all these groups that come out. There's so many groups that come out, y'all. It's so watered down, especially the girl groups. So many girl groups debuting. They all look alike. They all sound alike. They're all trying to get a dance challenge or a TikTok video or something that'll go viral. All K-pop Demon Hunters just said, boom, blew that out the water. Boom, 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 boom. The point is, if you make good music, people will respond. Even people who don't like K-pop like the songs. Even people who don't like the movie is like, I like the songs. Yes, I do know Stray Kids. It would be fun to do a live stream video speculating who could get. I would love to do a video about who would be the cast. I would love to see like somebody from each boy band. I would love to see, a BTS member, a Stray Kids, ATEEZ. Like we can do the Saga Boys. We can just bring in different people from different groups and then have them each be a member. Can you learn another word in French? Nah. They're calling them a new K-pop group when it's an anime. Yeah, they're calling them a new K-pop group, and people are the industry is getting mad because they're like, well, they're not a K-pop group. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but the point is, the music speaks for itself. Like industry insiders are trying to figure out what K-pop Demon Hunters did, and they're trying to recreate it. I'm like, dummies, they created good music. If you create good music, people will respond. Not this bullshit they got now. This TikTok stuff that they doing right now, no. I'm like, I be sitting here like this. Really, this song sound like this song, sound like this song. It don't work. It don't work, especially in international spaces and Western spaces. The reason why K-pop Demon Hunters, the music hit, because it sounds like modern pop music here in America with a little bit of K-pop sprinkled in. But it's not, K-pop right now is so heavily like back in the 90s right now that people in America are like, we ain't vibing for that. But like Yeah, I'm sick of songs that are like 2 minutes and 10 seconds too. Like, I'm sick of that. Why does everything have to be a TikTok challenge? Why does everything have to be 2 minutes? Well, it has to be 2 minutes because, TikTok videos and okay. So instead of making music, You literally have people marketing. Okay, we setting up this group. This person's an influencer. This person's a model. This person's a dancer. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Then we barely have maybe a couple of singers. Then okay, well, we need people to get online and have a social media presence. Okay. Then we need y'all to do appearances and y'all need to do live streams and y'all need to appear together. Okay. And then we need to have what kind of outfits we're gonna have, what kind of look, what kind of costume we're gonna have. Okay. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, we're forgetting something. Oh, that's right, the music. Y'all forgot about y'all forgot about the music. So y'all done put all this money into concept and dancing and hairstyles and all this stuff. What get left out? What about the music? What about the singing? Can they sing? Maybe. What about the music? Y'all got this basic beats, these noise music. What about the music? They didn't forgot, they didn't lost the whole point. Good music. Now the music just sound like okay, this sound like this other 10 songs. And they don't understand, well, why isn't the K-pop industry on fire like it was 5 years ago? Because y'all music is trash. Y'all are not focusing, y'all have lost the plot. Y'all are focusing on looks and engagement and social media and who's popular and this person is popular. And then it's like the music, whether they can sing or dance, just kind of get thrown to the wayside. So yes, K-pop demon hunters got the industry shook because they're like, okay, we really got to make good music. Yeah, dummy, you got to make good music. The music, you make good music and people will like it, and not old sounding music from the '90s. Not culturally appropriating things either. Just make good music. I don't need that. I don't need them bringing back the '90s, looking like some group, looking like SWV or TLC from the '90s. I don't need that. I need you to make good music, innovative good music that sounds modern and catchy at the same time, and good singers. Can y'all do that? Then y'all can do the other stuff. But K-pop has lost it. They just now it's a marketing thing. It's marketing deals and branding deals, and this is that's their focus. And so the music is kind of like, we'll throw something out there. They'll buy into it. Yeah, BTS made it. Let's ride on BTS. Right. They just got used to just like, well, BTS blew the doors open. And so K-pop just kind of followed behind them. But then since BTS went on hiatus, it's not authentic anymore. It's becoming way too cookie cutter. Everything looks alike. All the groups look alike. I can't tell this group from that group from there's a group called the Kiras. There's another group called VVS. There's another group called Meow. I don't know my Meow from VVS, from this group, from that. I'm just like, okay, the Kikis, the Kiras, the Meow, the Vuvus, the Vuvoots. I like I'm like watching these videos going, okay, these all look like the same girl. They're not authentic. Yeah, we lived through the '90s. I'm like, this is just a cheap. Now they change their concepts way too frequently now. Not every 3 months they got a whole different sound, a whole different concept. I'm like, can we at least have some kind of consistency? No? Oh, okay. You're like, oh, they done went from this to something completely different now. You're like, they don't even look like Baby Monster is my example. So yes, I'm gonna do a whole video where I talk about K-pop demon hunters and how this has changed the industry and how like they're panicking because they're like, this thing has made more money and got more attention than real K-pop singers do. These songs are better than real K-pop groups. So, Golden is just, we're going up, up. Come on now. Like, that's the song. Like whoever those people are who made these songs, they knew what they were doing. And hopefully they'll be able to recreate that whenever they come out with a TV show and an album and all this. Hopefully they can recreate the magic. We'll see. We'll see. You can't keep up with. I can't keep up with new groups. I watch them every week when they debut groups on Kville, and I'm just confused. So it's just weird. It was twice, yeah. And Audrey Nuna, I love Audrey Nuna. She's one of the singers on. She's one of the singing. And Audrey Nuna, I've been a fan of hers for a long time. If you don't know who Audrey Nuna is, she's great. She's from America. She's great. She's a singer. She's a rapper. She toured. She's a small, like she has never really made it in the business because again, she's from America and she's Korean. But her music is so good. Her music. If you don't know Audrey Nuna, go look her up. She's on YouTube. Her music is great. Uh, so there you go. What do you think about the marketing strategy they use? Emotional manipulation. I'm talking about K-pop in general. It's a lot. It's a lot of emotional manipulations, but that's been in K-pop for a long time. Again, that's another subject I have to do a whole video on because K-pop is a lot of smoke. It's a lot of fakeness. It's a lot of Audrey Nuna, Nuna, not Nuna, not that Nuna, but Nuna, Nuna. Her music is fantastical. Hers fantastical, but I love her. But yeah, I'm gonna do a video later on this week, get my thoughts together and get my script together where I'll talk about that. So my next subject around the world in K-popness, I think those are all my updates I have for other companies. Yeah, I think that's it. So my next thing is ATEEZ. I went to the ATEEZ concert last Saturday. That's why I couldn't do a live stream on Saturday. I went to ATEEZ concert. It was my second ATEEZ concert. I went into the Light. I went to that concert, and so I went to In Your Fantasy. I made an ATEEZ video that if you're a member, you can see the video now. If you're not a member, the video will be posted on Monday. I have an ATEEZ. I did a whole concert vlog, which is like an hour and a half. The ATEEZ concert was long, baby. That concert was like 3 hours. First of all, ATEEZ, they come out and their opening group is Zikers, which is like their little brother group. They're like the TXT of KQ Entertainment, but that's their little brother. So Zikers perform. This is the first K-pop concert I've ever had where they actually had an opening act. I thought that was very interesting. I like Zikers. I like some of their songs, but I don't know what but yeah, they are on tour with them and they opened for them. So that was cool. They came out there and did like a little medley thing and that was cool. I can say, summing it up, I prefer Into the Light last year than to this concert. In Your Fantasy, ATEEZ's new album is a banger. I listened to their whole new album one night, and I like their new album better than I liked the last album. But what is it, Golden? But Golden 2, Golden, I don't know. But anyway, but I like both of the albums. I like ATEEZ music. It is very, very on my BTS train. It's like R&B, kind of that R&B kind of thing. However, the concert, ATEEZ performed great. They were phenomenal. They sang a lot of they have solo songs on their new album and they sang a lot of those. However, I did not like that there was a medley at the end where they sang all of their hits at the end. I think they should have put the medley in the beginning. To me, they should have opened with the medley. I wanted to hear Wonderland and Crazy Form and all that. But they did like a medley of their songs toward the end and it didn't hit the same as if they would have done it open that way. Their stage, like I said, this is the complaints that I have is not about ATEEZ. It's about the way the concert was set up on the stage, and it's the same venue last year. But last year we had the stage. Whoever did the stage design last year was a banger. This year it just didn't hit like it did. Golden Hour. There you go. And it just didn't hit. It just didn't hit. Yeah, I know NCT. I have a beef with NCT 127 fans. They did Bouncy and Work. They put it in the medley. They put Work. They put Crazy Form and Wonderland and another song in the medley. And then they did Bouncy by itself. And then they did a bunch of stuff from the new album. They did In Your Fantasy, Lemon Drop, which I love. And then they did like their solo stuff. It was a long concert. I do have to say, I don't know how ATEEZ do it. It's the longest concert I've been to. That's K-pop. It was almost 3 hours, y'all. It was a long. They came out and did 2 encores. They went back, changed clothes, came out and did a whole nother show. Okay, so they was up there dancing and dressing, and they had all these costume changes, fancy stuff. Then they went backstage and put on like Texas Ranger jerseys and Texas T-shirts. And then I'm thinking, okay, they're going to come out here and sing one more song and say goodbye. No, these mofos went and changed and got comfy and used the bathroom and wiped the sweat off and was drinking a bottle of water. And then they came back out and they were like, I was like, oh, okay. Usually the encore, you get 1 or 2. They're like, hell no. Encore came, you going to get about 5 more songs. I'm sitting there like, dang, okay, my back's starting to hurt. Them chairs ain't comfortable. I got back problems. I had back surgery. I'm just sitting there like this. I'm like, okay. And it was great, but I'm just like, I thought the concert was over. I was like, time to go. I'm finna stand up. I'm finna say, okay, girl. I told Jennifer, I said, okay, girl, let's go. She like, hold on. I'm like, okay, girl. I'm sitting there. I'm like, girl, they was like, we ain't done yet. 3 hours. That concert was almost 3 hours. And yeah, they're workhorses. BTS concerts just as long, girl. Is it really 3 hours? Whew, that's the longest concert I've been to. It is worth my money, yes. Yeah, some artists do about an hour, hour and a half, maybe. And then a lot of times, a lot of these K-pop concerts, like 3 or 4 times during the concert, they up talking. Now I appreciate them, telling they fans how much they love them and whatever, whatever. But girl, they was some of these K-pop concerts. I'm just like, okay, how long are we talking? Because I came here to listen to some music, not y'all talk. I'm gonna tell y'all about my back surgery in a minute. But the ATEEZ concert was worth it. It's definitely your thing. Before I get to the next thing I'm gonna talk about is the South Korean president. Before I get there, you're talking about my back surgery. I had major back surgery 5 years ago. When people talked about Felix, I did not know Felix, by the way, had back issues. I did not know he had back issues. There is a member, my bias in ATEEZ, Jung Ho, he has knee problems. So apparently he's had knee surgery. And from what I heard, he had knee problems. I have had knee surgery. So when I watched the video, I didn't know Felix had like a herniated disc. When I watched Felix and the look on his face, I felt that I was basically traumatized all over again because my back, and I could see him doing this because that's all the grimaces and the looks and the same things that I had when I had back. My back was so bad I could barely walk 5 steps without doubling over in pain. And you got to think 5 years ago, my kids were really young. So I had a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. So thank God my mother was alive at the time because I could not take my kids anywhere. I could not walk around. I was hurting so bad. So I finally had surgery, and then my surgery was canceled because of the pandemic. So I literally laid in bed on pain, and then I got laid off from my job. So 2020 was not a good year for me. But yes, my surgery got canceled not once but twice. And finally they begged the surgery center to give me surgery because I was in so much pain. I had suffered for a year and a half with debilitating back pain. So when I had my back issues, I had disc degeneration in 3 lower parts of my back. And on top of that, my spine had fused to my pelvis. So whenever I walked, it pushed on my sciatic nerve. And if some of you guys have kids, you know that when you're pregnant, your pelvis moves around and so it pinches your sciatic nerve. I had a pinched sciatic nerve, a severe one, for about 18 months, and it just got worse. I had injections, I had all kinds of things, but my pelvis had fused to my spine. Like they had fused together. And so I had to have 2 surgeries in 1 week. I had to have the surgery to replace my disc. I have plastic in my back and I have metal screws in my back. And then on top of that, I had pelvic surgery because they had to cut part of my pelvis away from my spine. So it is a miracle that I work out, I jog. It's a miracle that I live a normal life. So when I saw Felix wincing in pain, I didn't know he had a herniated disc. I didn't know that he had bad back. I went to the HYBE concert. Back pain is no joke. When I would hurt, it would make me nauseous because your spine affects your whole circulatory system. It affects whether you're nauseous or not. It affects everything. Your back literally holds up your whole body. So when they were talking about Felix and his back pain and Jung Ho, and I think there's another member of ATEEZ that has back pain as well. I cannot imagine being a K-pop singer with a herniated disc and walking around. I know backstage they have to give these K-pop stars injections in their knees, in their backs, because that is the only way you would be able to function with a herniated disc. And I saw videos I saw it last night of Felix in pain and wincing and literally dancing on stage and then bending over on the ground because he was in so much pain. Like that was a traumatic experience for me because I understood what it felt like to walk and try to live. And it got to the point where I couldn't even live a normal life for a while. Like I literally could not live a normal life. And so, and then having 2 little kids is, mommy, I couldn't even take my kids trick-or-treating like my mom had to take them. Like, thank God my mom, may she rest in peace, was there because I wouldn't have survived. I couldn't stand up and cook. My mom had to cook for me and come bring me food. Like I was literally like sitting and laying in bed, doubled over in pain, like vomiting because I was in so much pain. But I had surgery. And then once I had surgery, it took me 9 months to recover. And now I'm a normal person. But I saw the video, I thought about Felix, and I just hit me. I was like, that poor thing. I was like, I cannot imagine being a K-pop singer and just the abject look of terror on his face. Because whenever you're back, when it flares up, there's nothing you can do. You just have to like get your shots, get your painkillers, and just wait it out. So I just couldn't imagine the grueling schedule. Like it was. Yeah, they said, yeah, if he doesn't do the surgery, yes, he could become paralyzed. That's what they were telling me, that if I didn't do the surgery, they told me that my back will flare up. I will always have back. And the thing about this is nothing that I did. My disc degeneration is genetic. It's something that they don't know why it happens to certain people. I didn't get into a car crash. I didn't injure my back. I didn't do anything. I live a healthy lifestyle. I was working out 5 days a week. Now I work out 4 days a week. I was like ripped. I was lifting and everything, and nothing I did. It's just genetic. It's just I have some early form of osteoporosis. If you know, y'all know what that means. I have an early form of rheumatoid arthritis in my back and early form of osteoporosis in my back. And it'll just get worse as I get older. And like I said, when I had surgery, I'm not that old, but I'm like the back surgery I had is usually surgery that 7-year-olds have. So, but I'm here. I made it. I'm here. I work out. I'm good. I run. And then I had knee surgery last year. When I went to go see ATEEZ, y'all, I had knee surgery. I went to ATEEZ with a bad knee, y'all. I went to ATEEZ in a leg brace because I tore my meniscus real bad. And so I couldn't cancel my concert. So I literally drug my leg along in pain to go see ATEEZ last year. And then right after ATEEZ is when I had knee surgery, and I was begging. I was like, please let me hurry up and have knee surgery. And I had knee surgery, and I had knee surgery last year, and I'm still in recovery from it. Like, it's only been a year, but I can still, my knee and back will never be the same. Like, it won't be like it was before, but I can work, You said somebody fell down. Wait a minute, wait, and paralyzed them? Yes, I did see the viral video where the screen the glass thing fell on them, and I watched that video one time. I can't watch it no more. That video kept popping up over and over again in my recommends after I watched it one time. And I watched the whole video about K-pop disasters, and that was enough for me. That glass thing fell on that dude. It was a wrap for me. I had to I gasped and turned the video off. Like, I can't watch stuff like that. That disturbs me. That killed me. So yeah, anybody that has any kind of physical ailment, back, knee, or whatever, I feel bad for him. And like I said, Jung Ho and ATEEZ, I heard that he had disc degeneration, and that's the reason, and he still gets up there and dances. But they were saying that's the reason why, like, over the years, he's gained weight, because he has a bad back and a bad knee. So it's like he can't really go gung ho and work out and do all the things. 'Cause he used to be a little skinny guy, and he's gained weight. But he's my bias. He's the best singer. I love Jung Ho. He's quiet and shy. He looks so sweet. And y'all know I like the quiet one. So here you go. So Jung Ho is the powerhouse, the powerhouse singer. You hope I recover. I thank y'all. I have recovered as best as I can for an old lady. Every time you see K-pop concerts where they're moving on stage, yeah, the piece is dangerous. You have to have a good setup. You can't have them janky setups. I think the thing where the thing fell on them, they were saying that whole stage there was problems. There was problems leading up to the days before that. They were saying that there were people falling off the stage. There was things falling. Like, the whole setup was just wrong, and they should have known that a disaster was going to happen. Doesn't the medication make them gain weight? It depends on what the medication is. Yes, it depends. It depends on what it is. But it depends. But a lot of times, like I tell you, a lot of the K-pop singers, they take shots, like in their knees and their back and their muscles, the cortisone shots. A lot of times they'll take up shots. Like the shots I used to get, they had to like get in my spine and dig in my spine and give me a shot in my spine in order for me to just function. Like, Yeah, and then sometimes they keep on it to say, because I mean, South Korea has a better medical system than we do in America. But my shots, when I used to do my back shots, they were $1,500 a piece for one shot, and the shot would probably last about 3 weeks, and then I'd be back hurting again, and then I had to go get another one because the insurance company wouldn't approve my surgery at first. They wanted me to do physical therapy. They wanted me to do these shots. They wanted me to do this DNA therapy. I did all of that. I did gene therapy. I did cellular injections, all that kind of stuff. Why would they put a TV screen that look like it? Child, that TV screen look. That TV screen looked more wobbly than my grandmama's TV. My grandmama had a TV on her dresser when I was a kid, and every time I walk by it, I'll be like, and you walk by it and be like wobble wobble, because the TV was bigger than the dresser, right? Yeah, Sugar did shots for his shoulder. Girl, you like, come on now. Everybody know they got this relative when they have a house where they have a TV that's bigger than the table, okay? And when you walk by, the TV kind of shakes. That's what it looked like. I was like, why would y'all suspend this thing in the air? And then you look like the wind would blow, and it was like, and I was like, this is disaster. And when I saw the video, I said, that's it. That's where I had to turn on TV and run, because I can't. Can you talk about your grandmama? My grandmama too. My grandma got that TV. My grandma did, but she made rest in peace. But she had that TV. I was like, girl, what you? You walk by the TV. Just barely walk by the, and it would be like, my grandmother dress would be like, I'm like, grandmama, that TV is too heavy. It is too big. Why you got this TV on this dresser, grandmama? I'm like, grandmama, like, why? She like, mind your business, Kiki. Shush, girl, mind your business. I was like, all right, grandma. But yes, that was an accident waiting to happen. So that's what happens when you have janky companies who don't know how to set up stages or try to cut corners. And sometimes I think with that situation, they didn't have enough workers and they didn't know what they was really doing. Like, almost every idol slips. Yeah, they've slipped on stage from slippery stages. Yeah, they got whole videos on YouTube. She said a TV fell on me when he was first grade on vacation at a hotel. You could have been paid. Yeah, you could have been paid. Your parents and smile would have sued that hotel. And they would have paid you too. I used to work in hotels. That's how I know. They would have paid you. I would have paid you. They would have came to me and women like, man, and they would try to avoid a lawsuit. Hotels would do anything to try to avoid a lawsuit. So I tell people that if things happen at hotels that you don't like, complain to corporate, go to the general manager, go all the way through the corporate, go all the way up. Because I used to work in corporate. Will you come to me and you'll speak to me? And then y'all be like, I'm threatening to sue. And I'll be like, well, cut the check. I'll be like, cut the check. Because the hotels do not want to be sued. The hotels do not have enough money in their budgets to be sued. They have slim margins. So they don't need to be, they don't want to be sued. So if you at a hotel and something falls on you or something happens to you, I tell people go into the hotel and complain. And if you're manager, go to the manager, go to the GM, go to regional manager, go all the way up to corporate, because you'll get it done. That's free advice from me. It's free tip for me. I used to work in hotels. I worked in corporate. I worked in corporate and hotels for 4 years. And so I can tell you that, yes, if you complain loudly enough, they will cut a check. Because I've done it. I'm like, oh, they complaining, they're going to go to the media. Okay, we'll cut a check. How much you need? Go get a damage estimate and come back. Go get the medical bills, and then we would pay them. So that's just a little tip. That hotels, once you start complaining to corporate, they get scared. They get shook. They're like, oh no. So there you go. That's the tips that I have. Yeah. Yeah, that's the y'all ignore the cool guy. He just let me just bounce this person off. Wait a minute. Hold on. There you go. All right. Let's just remove people. It's just easier to remove. So yeah, that's what I'm telling you about corporate. But yeah, that's what happened at ATEEZ concert. It was a phenomenal concert, but I just thought that last year was better. So anyway. So now we get on to the South Korea president. If you guys have not heard, if you guys were here last week, some of y'all were here the week before when I did my 6-hour live stream. Most of y'all were here last week. Last week, I told y'all when we talked about HYBE and the things that they're going through and Bong PD coming back and, they're going through the things, they got raided about taxes. I told y'all last week that no other fandom or K-pop company should be laughing and pointing fingers going, ha, you suck. Because I told you, I said last week, it seems to me is that the South Korean government is coming for K-pop companies. So I said nobody should be gloating or be happy that HYBE is being investigated or raided by the Popo. I said no other fandom should be happy about this. because YG had their situation with copyright allegedly, and they were raided by the police too. And I told y'all last week, I said it seems to me that the government is coming for K-pop. They're coming for these companies because they're gaining too much money. They are going overseas. And I said last week, and I've said in many videos, that it sounds like South Korea is changing their taxes, they're changing their investment laws, and they're coming for K-pop. Well, I'm not psychic, okay? I don't work for the Korean government, but the South Korean president on the 20th of August came out with a statement saying that he's going to issue some changes to the entertainment industry. These changes are supposed to benefit everybody, right? So Asian Entertainment, who has a YouTube channel, broke all of this down in detail. So if you want to check out her channel, you can, where she broke down the South Korean president. But I told you, they are coming for them. I said they want Bang PD and these other K-pop companies to bend the knee. This is about money and about power. So, you know, she said, yeah, my friend told me that's what's happening to a famous group in Dubai, and now they're all boycotting YouTubers in Dubai. Oh, are they? Oh my God. So I told y'all, I said, this is coming. I said, I have heard that in Korea, they're going to be changing the tax laws and further laws, because I hear that Korea is not good stock market wise, financially, that the economy in the country is on a low-key recession, that they haven't really announced and people don't really talk about it, but people who work in the financial sectors in the government has been noticing that the South Korean economy is slumping, that they're not really growing, okay? So because they're not growing, they're looking ways to make money, ways to save money. And so they're starting to go after, they can't go after the chaebols. They can't go after Samsung and LOD and LG. They can't go after the chaebols. So they're going to go after the lower level companies. And the biggest thing on their agenda is K-pop. I've said this over and over again. They need money. So the South Korean president says in 2026, he is taking away the K-pop companies. If you didn't know, they actually get tax breaks from the South Korean government, because the K-pop companies, they bring in so much trade and investors, and they bring in so much income from tourism and stuff like that. So all of the major K-pop companies in particular get deep tax breaks. Now, as to how much tax breaks they get, I'm not quite sure, but they get deep tax breaks. So the president said, time out, no more tax breaks for you. So these K-pop companies, JYP, HYBE, they're not getting any more. They're not going to be getting any more tax breaks. That is huge in the K-pop industry. So they're going to have to start paying regular taxes, just like everybody else, just like all the rest of the companies. So no more tax breaks for them. The Korean government says that the money that they save from these tax breaks, they're going to use that money to revitalize the K-pop industry. Now, they released a whole 10-point plan and what they plan to do. And it sounded nice and it sounded good. But we all know when things sound nice and sound good, when the governments execute these things, it goes south quickly. So they plan to take part of this money and they're going to subsidize smaller K-pop companies and smaller entertainment companies. Use this money to subsidize. It's always about money, always. They're always. Yeah, this is the new president. They did have a different president. He was impeached. They had a president before that, before, when BTS was in their heyday, that was another president, but he didn't get reelected. Then they had one that came in 2022. That was the one that got impeached. So now they elected a new president late last year. This is the new president. So he's changing the tax laws. He's changing the investment laws. So these companies are going to have to pay more taxes. They're going to be out of more money, and that's going to hit their revenue. The government says they're going to use this money that they're saving by not giving these tax breaks to bring subsidies to smaller companies. Now, as to how that's going to work, I don't really know. I don't know what kind of subsidies, financial subsidies. And then they said that the big companies, they can apply for these subsidies, but it's like on a need to use basis. So the government's going to decide whether or not a company gets the subsidies or not. As to what the criteria is, we don't know yet. I mean, 2026 and stuff is coming. So they have time to like roll out this plan. So again, that sounds good in theory, especially for smaller K-pop companies. In order for them to compete, they will need income, because that's the problem with competing with HYBE and all these restaurants. They don't have the income. whatever. That sounds again. That sounds good, but I again, what criteria they're gonna have for these subsidies, what they got to do for these subsidies. I don't know. They have to do something strange for a piece of change. I don't know. Okay, but it sounds a little janky to me that the government's like, we're gonna give you subsidies, and thinking that like the government's not gonna expect them to do something in return for these subsidies. So that's that. Then they talking about they're going to look at the contracts. Now that's one thing I think that's good. They said they're gonna have create like a new division, a new agency where they start having uniformity in these contracts. Now I don't know what that means, but that sounds great. If they can get all K-pop contracts for all these companies to follow underneath regulation, they said they're going to try to regulate these contracts. We'll see how it goes because there's presidents who tried this like 10 years ago and it did not go at all. That people were against this. But I am for them regulating the K-pop industry, regulating the contracts in particular, to where they have where minors and children aren't ripped off, where people are not working 14, 15 hours a day and not getting paid, where people are being overworked. So they're trying to change that. That's a good thing. But there's a bunch of other things in there that I don't quite understand. So like they have initiatives, and another thing that good that they're doing. Let's go to the good. South Korea does not have a lot of good arenas and stadiums. So the other thing that they're going to do is try to bring in, try to build more stadiums and arenas in South Korea, or issue improvements, use government money to improve them. That's much needed. So bravo for them. If they can create more stadiums, if they can, update a lot of these stadiums in South Korea are not big enough and they're old. And so if they can, build new ones, tear down the old ones, or just, like expand. I don't know how they do that, expand. Then it would help. It would help South Korea a lot. Hopefully, the deal with the sasaengs and the set rules for them, they're not going to do that. These are all about financial things. So the contracts and building new stadiums and arenas, good. Then they have other things in there about like foreign investors. Like they're trying to block foreign investors. And I'm like, I guess that's a good thing. That could go either way. Okay. Because some of these companies need foreign investors in order to expand. Basically, I can, the things that they describe, the government gonna put their spin in it. But reading between the lines, I think they don't want these companies to expand overseas. And I've said that before in my last week. I said they don't want these companies to expand overseas. They don't want the money to leave Korea. So that's part of the issue. Then they're talking about like providing incentives to other, using this money that they're saving to provide incentives to other parts of the Korean entertainment industry and not just K-pop. That's where I'm like, what does that really mean? So boosting other parts of the K entertainment industry, that could be anything. That could be something good or something horrific. I don't know what that means either. That it's very vague. Like a lot of stuff they say. So what do you mean? You're boosting other parts of the entertainment industry. Again, that could be good, that could be bad. They could be, trying to push more K dramas. I don't know what that means. I'm just like, well, that could be good, I guess. Propping up other parts of the entertainment industry, I guess. But, and then they talk about like bringing, marketing incentives. And then that's when I was like, okay, bitch, what? Wait, back up. Oh, we're going to have marketing incentives using entertainment to bring more businesses to South Korea. Now, I'm Baby Army, but even I have heard about the bullsh that went on with BTS. When that president was like, oh, from what my knowledge and from what I know, BTS had to do a bunch of like marketing, and they did a free concert, and they did a lot of stuff because the president at the time wanted BTS, strong-armed HYBE, basically, and told BTS they had to do these tours videos, and I watched tours videos of BTS, and they had to do all this stuff allegedly for free. And it started out where HYBE and Big Hit kind of felt obligated, like, okay, we're going to do this because we're Korean and we're obligated. And sure. So they did a few things. And then I heard that the Korean government went crazy. And then they just trotted BTS out Like anytime they wanted to do something, they would just call up BTS and be like, and kind of strong arm them. Yes, Diva Jian. Yes, I have a whole BTS channel. So apparently they strong armed BTS into doing these things. So that's what kind of raised my hackles. I'm like, what do you mean marketing? What does that mean? So in my mind, when they say marketing, in my mind, in my opinion, that means free marketing. That means using K-pop and K entertainers as free marketing. And so, yeah, the way they use BTS and HYBE for nonsense, they didn't work anyway. Yep, they did all that stuff and HYBE had to pay for it. Yes. So I'm thinking to myself, the government is now saying that they are going to use more of this for more incentives. Like, so I'm like, that raises the alarms because, like, again, I read and saw and watched people's videos talking about the things that BTS had to do and not get paid for these things, and just that BTS was required, obligated. They made them feel like they were obligated. And then on top of that, I'll get into another day the things that I heard behind the scenes that went on during that time. That was more than just. Anyway, I won't get into that tea, but I've heard that there was much more to all of that with the Korean government. That they pretty much like almost low key like blackmailed Big Hit and HYBE, you know. So now, yeah, so now they want to do that, right? Olive B with all K-pop groups, with all K entertainers, not just K-pop, actors, everybody, sports people, everybody. So I'm like, that's what it sounds like to me, that they are going to increase more marketing because they want more tourism. They want more tourists and more money, more revenue inside South Korea. My bias is Sugar. So that's what I'm thinking that a lot of this means. So Asian entertainment breaks it all down, like all of the things that they're planning to do. And none of it, and most of it, 80% of it don't sound good. It just sounds like they want more control over this K-pop thing. And I said, Sugar, that should work out great. Right. That's what I'm like. What could possibly go wrong? And then another thing they said that they're going to use they're going to use K-pop in the entertainment industry to push innovation into AI. That they're trying to attract AI companies and that South Korea is going to start heavily investing in AI. So I don't know. Y'all take that how y'all want to take it. I mean, I understand that South Korea needs money. Like I understand, like I told y'all what I hear, what's going on, that the economy is in a slump. But them trying to attract AI, I'm like, what's really going on here? Like what's really going on here? It's weird. It's strange. Yes, you marry me. You marry me. It's weird. It's strange. I find it very strange. You know, I'm confused. Blackmail the companies, then make them pay for it so tourism increases. How does that work? I I heard with BTS that BTS was strong armed into marketing for free. That they were strong armed into it. That they were issued some sort of intimidations by the South Korean government that HYBE felt like they were obligated. And with this new government, they are basically saying that all that K basically I read between the lines. What they're basically saying is that K-pop is making a hell of a lot of money, and we need to spread the love around a little bit. And yeah, they just want to ask the president. They definitely were. Yeah, I heard there was some shenanigans and some bullshit going on there. I've heard that behind the scenes, y'all, that they was trying to start. And this president, again, I don't mind other parts of Korean entertainment being pushed forward, but on the backs of K-pop, I don't think that's fair. And basically, that's what I feel like he's trying to do. You guys are making all this money, so we're going to take part of your money and we're going to bolster other industries. But again, what the other industries and other companies that are going to get subsidies, what do they have to do for these subsidies? Are they going to have to do free advertisement, free marketing? Yeah, we're going to give you subsidies, but then you have your group has to come out here and perform at this thing for free. they have to come and perform for the troops. They have to go and market in this campaign to bring tourism. Yeah, they got to go and like it becomes where you know it just like you do this for me and I do that for you and the government will give you money. Yeah, it doesn't sound good to me. Now, like I said, them building new stadiums, yes, them regulating contracts and being uniformity to the contracts, by all means, do it. But the other stuff that they were saying, I was like, like this don't sound good. Taking away their tax breaks, okay, I guess. Like, yeah, I guess. And then it kind of alluded to in the thing that the president released. It kind of alluded to that he said in so many words that the concentration of K-pop wealth has only been in the hands of three or four companies, and he doesn't agree with that. He thinks that it's wrong for four companies to dominate the market when other companies do not. And I kind of agree with that, but then I'm like, okay, but how's the government going to how do you guarantee a company's success? You just may be a bad company that don't have good groups. You know, Emily said she thought she was going to leave K-pop, but K-pop won't let her leave. Emily said, K-pop won't let me leave. But yeah, I was like, so how is that gonna they like you can't just because you pump a lot of money into a company, it doesn't mean the company is managed right. It doesn't mean that they have the talent. It doesn't mean anything. It's not just about money. It's how the company's managed, it's the talent, it's the other people working in the company. It's not just the money. I understand giving companies subsidies, and I'm not against that. Because yes, some companies do need the help. But there's some companies, I mean, just to be honest with y'all, they just suck. Like some companies just don't do K-pop good. Their promotions suck. They don't promote their artists good. It's beyond just money and finances. It's also the people running the company that has issues as well. So pumping money into companies, I'm like, that sounds good in theory, but then some of these companies are probably gonna mismanage the money, swindle damn money. They're gonna be out drinking, like, but some of these people can't handle, they're gonna mismanage things. So just because you have a rich company doesn't guarantee that you're gonna have K-pop success. So, but the South Korean president, he's gonna do it. I mean, again, he has to go before their national assembly and everything and try to pass these laws. But this is his grand plan for doing all this. And my question is, who has he consulted? Has he consulted K-pop industry experts? Has he gotten economic people? Like to me, this just sounds like this is one of these things that sound good on paper. But then if you really look into it, I'm just like, I would like to know who is working on this plan. Like, did he really consult people in the industry, like industry experts, to come up with this plan? Because a lot of it sounds very vague. A lot of it sounds like, okay, that logically not gonna work. And a lot of this is just kind of just seems like the K-pop companies are going to be more grounded to where they can't leave, where they are going to be forced. Like I said, the language in this whole plan in the statement is Korea needs to come first, and y'all need to stop running your asses over there to America and taking all of these businesses and recording studios and shit over there. That's how it sounded like to me. Y'all need to start running your asses over there because we're not getting no money. That's what it sounded like to me. So maybe they're going to have incentives like bonuses and money for K-pop companies to do all of their operations here, which will be disastrous for the business. The K-pop industry needs to grow. It needs the ability to expand and to grow overseas. You know, sometimes it's jealousy. Yeah, it is jealousy. It is jealousy. It's jealousy and it's money. But yeah, they don't want these companies to get too big and they not have it. I told y'all that last week. I said nobody should be making fun of HYBE. Nobody should be calling HYBE frosters. And what did I say last week? I said HYBE is the canary in the coal mine. HYBE is the test product. If the South Korean government figures if they can take down HYBE, then they can take down all the rest of them. HYBE made more revenue than all the rest of the K-pop companies. Revenue earnings came out. HYBE made more than the rest of them. They have more reach. They have I believe the South Korean government figure if we can take down HYBE, we can take all the rest of y'all down. The situation with HYBE to me is a low-key witch hunt, but it's also setting an example. I've said this for 3 weeks now. They are making an example out of HYBE. if we can take y'all asses down and y'all got the biggest boy band, then none of these other companies gonna bend the knee. They're gonna capitulate. They're gonna be like, okay, well, what if they could get HYBE and BTS? What chance do we stand? They don't. If they can hem HYBE up on a witch hunt, and it's not about whether Bang PD did do this IPO or this tax stuff. That's not the point. The point is the optics. It looks bad in South Korea. It makes the industry look bad. If you can make the industry just look bad, that's a win-win for South Korea, the government. If they can make it like, oh my God, these companies are out of control. They tax evading. They doing IPO. They defrauding investors. You understand what I'm saying? Even if they can't prove that, that gives them reason to be like, okay, well, HYBE, y'all got away with it this time. But let's go look at the rest of these companies. So this gives the South Korean government, in my opinion, an excuse to start investigating all these companies. Well, we're gonna look at your taxes. We're gonna audit you now. They figure like they're gonna catch somebody doing something. And even if they don't, they're gonna go to the National Assembly and the president's gonna be like, look, there's so much fraud in the K-pop industry. Look, these mofos over here evading taxes, taking their money elsewhere, got janky ass foreign investors. Look what they're doing. So the South Korean government, to me, is building their case for 2026 for the National Assembly to pass these laws. And the National Assembly people who don't know nothing about K-pop is going to be like, oh my God, well, HYBE has been in the news lately. And what, didn't they raid their offices? And weren't they tax evading? And didn't YG do something with copyright? And weren't they raided too? And wasn't this one CEO on drugs? And wasn't this other person? Oh my God. Yes, the K-pop industry is out of control. Because again, if you can control the narrative, you have power. And that's what the South Korean government is doing. They don't care whether HYBE is guilty or not. They just want to control the narrative. They just want to make it like K-pop is doing something. So if they're doing something, they need to be regulated. If they're doing something wrong, they need to be watched. If they're doing something, we need to take their tax breaks. So this is what this is all about. This is about K-pop bending the knee and K-pop coming to heel for them. And I told y'all last week, I said, this is the South Korea's governments. This is their play. HYBE is the canary in the coal mine. They're the test case. If they can hem them up, they'll hem up anybody. And it's all because of money. Because again, the South Korean economy, I hear, is hemorrhaging. It's not growing. It's not getting any bigger. So they need they need to keep all the money in the house if they can. And they feel like we can crack down on a bunch of these companies. That's a win-win for them. So y'all be ready for it, you know. SM literally gives their artists 5% of their money, do they? Yeah, and how the media has handled all this stuff with Bang PD and HYBE and drug them for filth. Y'all should have known that they're trying to smear HYBE and Bang PD and BTS on the low, but they're also trying to smear the whole industry. They're trying to paint the K-pop industry as being corrupt and fraudulent. And if they can do that, they can create laws to clamp down on them. And when I mean clamp down, I mean take their money, because that's what they're trying to do. So all these people laughing about HYBE and calling Bang PD names, they're coming for all of you. They're coming for YG. They're coming for JYP. And damn it, eventually they're going to come for SM. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to come to SM, because I don't know how many fruit baskets with $10,000 SM been slid over there to them. But they're going to come for SM eventually. But but they're waiting for the revenues to come in, and they see how much money JYP made, and they see how much money YG is making with this Blackpink tour, and they fucking with YG already. They messing with YG already. They like, yeah, we finna hem you up real quick. Like I said, that whole copyright lawsuit with G-Dragon is suspicious. I'm sorry, it's suspicious. Could the South Korean government set that whole copyright thing up? It's possible. They may have came to somebody and be like, hey man, we need you to come set up something. We just, copyright. We just, okay, throw you a few dollars. Go ahead, just go hem them up real quick. Get a lot. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see in the future, especially by the end of this year, more people filing lawsuits. Not just YG, but other copyright shenanigans is going to be going on as well. I feel like more companies are going to get audited. More companies are going to get in trouble for copyright or something illegal. Like there's going to be more companies and CEOs accused of fraud between now and the end of the year. The South Korean government is coming for them. Like they are like, no, you not gonna make billions in dollars and y'all just think y'all finna live high on the hog out here. Y'all finna pay y'all fair share and y'all finna come to heal and y'all finna keep most of y'all operations here in South Korea where it belongs. Don't be trying to run off nowhere. So I think that like we'll see more and more of this as time goes on. Again, I'm not psychic. I don't know people in the South Korean government, but I just know what I hear. And when people start talking about, inflation and stagnation and the housing market is bad in South Korea, and they passed some laws recently about the foreigners can't rent out apartments and stuff, and they can't buy a property in South Korea, which I understand that because they're trying to keep, because the property values are so high and sold, like foreigners are buying up property. So they're trying to crack on that. They're going to institute a bunch of new laws and stuff to try to stimulate and stop the stagnation of their economy. And I hope it works, I guess. But K-pop to me is just low hanging fruit. It's just an easy target. Hello from Mississippi. Hello. Yeah, strange stuff is happening. It's happening. Also, yeah, BTS has that new Spanish language show that I watched. They put a clip on, if you look on TV on HYBE's YouTube channel, they have a Spanish language, like a reality show where they're trying to find like a boy band. And they put them on there, and it was great, like to see the boys singing and everything. And I was like, I want to watch it. Like it's in English and Spanish, and I was like, okay, great. They see that they see what HYBE is doing about them expanding in Latin America, India. Then China has opened their doors, and so that's part of it also as well. You did y'all see that Kepler is going to China to perform? I think in the next month or so. There's going to be more groups. China closed things for K-pop and shut K-pop out years ago, and now they're opening things up to where K-pop bands can slowly but surely start to book venues in China and perform in China again. So that will bring revenue to South Korea and China. So, Cordis, I like the new group. I agree foreigners shouldn't buy land in other countries. I agree. It should be limited. That's how we got into our housing crisis here in America. That's why housing is not affordable, because there are so many companies that have bought up homes, whole neighborhoods full of homes. And then they just put the rents really high and price the people out. It's not good. So I agree with South Korea limiting like what foreigners can buy property wise, because all they do is come in and they just hike up the rates. But yeah, it is low hanging fruit. BTS the lowest cluster grade. Yeah, they're gonna go for the top dog first. I mean, that's just economic strategy. If you can take down the biggest, the baddest dog, the other dogs are gonna look at each other and be like, "Well, hell, we don't stand a chance." If they can him up and take down HYBE and get HYBE to be embarrassed, embarrass them, make them look corrupt, ruin their reputation, ruin Bang PD's reputation. If they can do that, then there will be an excuse for them to institute new laws. And so once they institute new laws, it's over with. When there's employment for teaching English, I had a friend that taught English in South Korea. Um, yeah, they can live. Teaching in South Korea is very lucrative. They actually give you a place to stay. My friend taught in South Korea for 2 years. She hated it. She hated it in South Korea. But you got to know her personality. She was not. She barely knew anything about Korea. She just went there because her friend told her about it, and her friend loved it. She got there and hated it. But she was there for 2 years, and they give you like a siphon. They give you a place to stay. They give you a salary. It was a pretty sweet gig, but she just didn't fit in with the culture there. Yeah, she just didn't fit in. It's hard to rent an apartment. It just depends on where you're at in South Korea. It's hard to rent there, but it's probably easier to buy, but it's expensive. But rich people are starting to buy property in Seoul. It's expensive to live in Seoul. So rich people are buying up condos and property, buying. And they'll rent to people. Sometimes in places, depending on what it is, if you're a foreigner and you renting, they require you to have like a Korean to vouch for you, like somebody that lives there to vouch for you. And so especially if you plan to be there like over 2 or 3 months, if you plan to be there 6 months to a year, a lot of times there's other hoops that they make you jump through, because they don't want you to rent and then take off and then not pay the rent, because of course foreigners will do that. But yeah, it's challenging and tricky to rent in South Korea. But there's a bunch of temporary housing. There's a bunch of places you can rent for 2 to 3 months. But just renting long term is harder. And buying property is a bit easier, but it's expensive. It's really well, people do it. Rich people do it. Like rich foreigners buy property and then they drive the rents up and they rent it out to Koreans. Like that's just horrible, you know. Yeah, companies literally buy up all houses and apartments in America, yes, and drive our rents up. I live in an area where a bunch of these companies, the house that I own, I bought it from a company. Like it wasn't owned by a person. They bought up like whole neighborhoods, and then they sell the homes for a higher price than what this house is probably even worth. So that's how that go. Hello, Marsha. Yep, there you go. So now you know how it goes down in South Korea. So the South Korean president is trying to change a bunch of laws, but messing around with K-pop, we'll see. I mean, these things won't go into effect until 2026 and 2027 if he gets it passed with the National Assembly. And the way things are going now, they're going to do everything in their power to make K-pop look corrupt. And if they can get away with doing that, they're going to be like, yeah, K-pop needs to be regulated. So stay tuned for that. So last on the docket is Min Hee-jin and her saga with ADOR. Now, Min Hee-jin herself is suing ADOR. Okay, she is suing ADOR. She's saying that she got let go. Well, she resigned as CEO, but she's suing ADOR for like defamation, harassment, bunch of stuff. Okay, so their trial is in November. So while the trial is going on, the lawyers are litigating, lawyers are lawyering, they're litigating, and they're going through something called discovery. So discovery is where both sides are like getting their evidence and presenting their evidence. One piece of evidence that was presented by ADOR is Min Hee-jin's cacao messages. Now, for those of you who don't know, people are like, what the hell is a cacao? Because I didn't know what a cacao was. Because I was thinking about like Prince. I was thinking about Morris Day in the Times. And they were like, cacao, cacao. Like, I didn't know what it was. I was like, cacao. I was like, is that like a mating call or a bird? I didn't know what it was. Okay. So I found out last year what a cacao was. Cacao is this messaging app. And really, that doesn't do it justice. I have a cacao account. Okay. So Kakao is an app you can download and you set up a username and a profile. And then it's a way for people to talk in other countries. So Kakao is a Korea-based company. A lot of people in Asia, especially South Korea, use Kakao. Now, when you travel, your phone don't work in South Korea, okay? Because the 5Gs and the phones, so your phone don't work. So the only way I can really talk to anyone in America, or if my friends are in Korea, we cacao. You can have group cacao chats, and they have like little cutesy things. You can send video. You can do live chats to people in Korea. That's how I talk to people in Korea. It's through cacao. So it's this really app that everybody uses. Everybody in Korea uses cacao. So I'm just letting y'all know. So that's what it is. Those people are like, what the hell is a cacao? So everybody uses it. Companies use it. Corporations using it. ADOR executives. So when these people work for a lot of these K-pop companies, they give you a cell phone, or you can use your own private cell phone. But they will have like a company cacao account. So the company cacao account, you log in, you get a company cacao account, you set up your ID, and everybody in the company, you can easily, with a touch of your finger, be like, okay, pull up the list of employees and select that person, and then you can chat with that person, send that person messages. So instead of sending emails, because emails can be hacked, Kakao is kind of like almost like a mini encrypted system. So it's hard for people to hack Kakao. And then Kakao can go with any phone. So you can get a new phone and just like any other app, download the app and then your account is still there. So it's not basis on your phone like text messages and SMS messages are. It's not emails because emails can be hacked. Or somebody get into company's network and hack emails. So it's not that. So Kakao messages are much more safe. However, for a company, it's on their company network. So one of the evidence that ADOR has introduced is the cacao messages that Min Hee-jin has. They pulled up a fraction of these messages as evidence to the court, proving that Min Hee-jin was trying to take over the company, proving that Min Hee-jin did meddled with the company. They got the cacao messages from Min Hee-jin to the New Jeans parents, where she was encouraging the New Jeans parents to file complaints outside of a door, inside of and outside of a door. They have cacao messages where she was talking to another executive of hers, and she was talking about HYBE and how much she hated HYBE. And let me tell you, Min Hee-jin hated the hell out of Bang PD. Baby, she talked about Bang PD like he was a dog, honey. She dog cussed Bang PD. You fat MFer, you fat, you sweaty pit having glasses, wearing big nose, frumpy looking MFer. Min Hee-jin, that's not a direct quote, that's me paraphrasing. But Min Hee-jin did not like Bang PD. She hated him. She called him a fat pig MFer. I said, dang. Min Hee-jin was talking reckless. Min Hee-jin was also talking to her shaman, okay? If you have not seen my shaman video is on this channel. The video where I talk about shamans in K-pop and shamans, what shamanism is, how it's used. Min Hee-jin was blowing her shaman up. Min Hee-jin's shaman allegedly was getting paid up to $2 million a year, okay? So she was talking on the cacao messages to the shaman, okay? Yeah, the cacao chat, she don't want to, yeah. So Min Hee-jin fought in court because she said that the cacao messages were gotten illegally, that ADOR shouldn't have pulled the cacao messages, and that her lawyers argued, Min Hee-jin's lawyers argued that it shouldn't be admissible in court because the cacao messages were gotten, even though the cacao messages are on ADOR's servers. It's on their server. It's the cacao account is her company, is not her private cacao account. It's the company's cacao account that she's up there talking reckless. So she went to court saying it's admissible. Well, baby, let me say, this week, the court came back and said, hold on. No, girl, hold on. They like, no, you can, they told ADOR, you can use the cacao messages. And I said, baby, when I read that article, I said, Min Hee-jin, you in danger, girl. You in danger. Why is Min Hee-jin in danger? Because number one, the cacao messages we got translated, she was talking reckless as hell. Once again, she called New Jeans a bunch of fat bitches. Once again, Min Hee-jin was going in on her own group. She was like, them fat bees, them disrespectful little snot-nosed bees. I was like, Lord. And then Min Hee-jin earlier last year was like, well, the messages are misconstrued and you guys took them out of context. She never said the messages was fake. She said the messages was taken out of context. Right, girl. Well, looking at these messages I saw, she was caught. She even went in on the bunnies, the New Jeans fans. She was like, you brain dead. They up here looking at these brain dead girls. Min Hee-jin, let me paraphrase, said, I ain't studying them girls. I ain't studying them bunnies. She didn't care about them bunnies either. She like, they just as dumb as New Jeans. What the hell? I was on the ground. I said, Min Hee-jin is wild. She wild, y'all. She was on the phone to the shaman. And let me tell you, she had the shaman on the main line. Not Jesus on the main line. I'm preaching tonight. She didn't have Jesus on the main line. No, ma'am. Min Hee-jin had the shaman on the main line, okay? And the shaman was shamaning. Let me tell you, the shaman, she asked the shaman, how many girls should she have? 6, 7. It was originally, I heard 7. The shaman was like, nah, 5. She was asking the shaman about which girl should we pick. The shaman's like, don't pick this one. She got a bad energy. Not this one, but this other one. Okay. Shit, the shaman was picking the girls, the group, the members, when they're gonna debut, all it is. You in these messages is just a fraction of messages. You will see how much control this damn shaman had. I'm like, hell, the shaman was probably picking out hairstyles. I'm telling you, the shaman was, I swear to God, Min Hee-jin was probably cacao messaging the shaman talking about, should they have dark hair? Should one of them have color? Should one of them have a perm? Should one of them get a fucking swoop bang? Or should it have straight bang? Should it be parted in the middle, shaman? Let me know, shaman. What hair do you think New Jeans should have? Girl, the shaman was picking out concepts. She was like, should it be Y2K? Should it be 90s funk? Should it be TLC? Should it be a rap girl? I mean, the shaman was literally, I'm flabbergasted. The shaman was literally involved in every damn decision. The shaman should get some royalties for this group because the shaman was on it. Why did Minnie Jin tell Hani to lie about bullying though? She did. She did. How does that support Minnie Jin? Is Minnie Jin trying to... Girl, she was trying to do everything to make HYBE and Big Hit and Adore look bad. She was trying to do everything in her power. That's right. She didn't have Jesus on the main line. She had the shaman on the main line. She asking the shaman, shit, what time of day should they come out? I mean, damn. She probably had the shaman picking wardrobe colors. Should it be the green or should it be the aqua? What do you think, shaman? You know, the shaman like, I don't know. Let me see the aqua. Send me a picture. Let me see the green. Let me see the green. No, I don't like that one. How about a nice purple? I mean, the shaman was literally picking everything. Yes, the shaman. I have a whole video talking about Korean shamanism. Min Jin was like this with her shaman. Like I thought she was just using the shaman just for like like executive decisions. No, the shaman was on every level of decisions. How many girls should be in the group? What girls should be in the group? How many should be? When should they debut? These are things that she was asking the shaman. I guess she was getting her money's worth because you know Min Jin paid a lot of money for the shaman. But these I'm like. And knowing what I know about Korean shamanism, you know, I learned so much about my research. Girl, I mean, they were probably butchering a pig every weekend. Every weekend, Min Jin was probably with the shaman butchering a damn pig every weekend, okay? Because the way she was hitting the shaman up for every little decision, she was consulting the shaman. Like, the shaman was like her personal assistant. Like, the shaman was her advisor, her personal assistant, her priest, her guru, her best friend. I'm like, Min Jin, do you not have any friends? Because the shaman was on every decision about Adore and New Jeans. Like, you could see how much control and how much faith she put into this shaman. Like, a lot. She is all in this shit. Min Jin is all in, y'all. She is 100% a shaman girl. She like shaman for life. Like, she was like, throw it up, shaman for life. So the way I was just dying because I was like, this shaman had a lot of power. That just goes to show you the power of shamanism in South Korea. Like, people will literally plan their whole weddings and business openings in their whole life based on what the shaman is telling them. Nuji should have reported Min Jin instead of supporting her. Yeah, because the way Min Jin talked about these girls was, if I knew that was my daughter being, I mean, she's calling them fat bitches and all that. I was like, and then she's like, no, it's taken out of context. Out of context? That's not something you take out of context. I'm like, girl. Yeah, shaman was on call like the doctor. She was cacao. I mean, she had probably hundreds of cacao messages to this shaman. All times a day. About all kinds of mundane things. You know, just who should be in the group. The shaman made a decision. The shaman's like, this person got a bad energy, not that person. What about this girl over here? What about that? Oh, she's a troublemaker. So all of this was just dumb. I knew she was in, but I didn't know she was that in. She's really into this stuff. Like, really, really into it. Yeah, 32,000 minutes. Yes. And they have only scratched the surface of what was going on. So the other thing I was shocked about is how reckless Min Jin was. That's what got me. That's what blew my underwear off. How reckless she was talking in his cacao messages. I'm like, honey, you do realize that this is on the company's network. So she's on the line. She is using the company cacao on the company network to talk reckless to the shaman, to the parents, to other executives, when all these messages easily could be pulled up. I'm like, Min Jin, I don't know if Min Jin is the stupidest broad ever, or she was just that damn arrogant. Because I don't look. You know, I I don't know. I'm like, was she just that dumb? Like what? Like I'm like, girl, are you just? I'm going. Okay, so you own company. You own company property, talking reckless about the company and about things you're gonna do, and you didn't think to go get you a burner phone? I'm like, damn, Minnie Jin, you didn't go get a burner phone. Minnie Jin is weird. She's a straight weirdo, yo. She's a weirdo. Minnie Jin is a weirdo and apparently not a smart one. For somebody who wanted to take over ADOR and saying that she's a genius creative director, all this other stuff, it came to light in the messages that she didn't really even create New Jeans or really have that much input into them. They were with Source Music when the group was almost all the way formed. Source Music had pretty much laid out the blueprint for the concept and everything. So Minnie Jin didn't even do nothing, y'all. She didn't even do anything. Yes, and then she was talking reckless on the emails in the company laptop with the company server. So I don't know if this woman is the dumbest woman on the planet. I don't know. Or she's just the most arrogant one. I don't know if Minnie Jin gaslighted herself. Like maybe she gaslighted herself. Why Illin is involved? Because of the thing in the elevator where Danielle claimed that what a member of Illa didn't bow to her enough or ignored her or some shit like that. And then there was the manager who told the Illa girls, to ignore the New Jeans girls. Yeah, probably because they was up there talking noise. Like, that's how Illa got dragged. Poor little Illa got dragged in all this. But this, I said, I don't know if Minnie Jin has to be the most stupidest person or the most arrogant or both. How do you be this stupid? I'm like, Minnie Jin, you could have went down to Sunday District and got you a damn burner phone, girl, and opened you another cacao cup. Girl, what you doing? You didn't get the burner phone, Minnie? How you try to plan to take over a company and do all of these things? And just the simplest, most basic things, you using the company email, the company phone, and the company cacao account. I was like, I don't know if she's stupid or she just thought she was just that clever, or maybe she's both. After a while, sometimes, yeah, she's a pathological. I do believe she's one of these people that started to believe her own hype. I believe Minnie Jin thought she was smarter than everybody else. She knew what she was doing. She was trying to pressure HYBE to let her go and give her ADOR. Like that was going to work. I don't understand what kind of crazy scheme she was. I don't know what kind of bird brain, hatch brain scheme that she thought. But I'm like, girl, that's your plan? So you thought that if you was going to cause enough trouble, they going to let you walk away with a multi-million-dollar company? Girl, you crazy. I don't know if she's crazy or just dumb. I was like, girl, you dumb. Like you really think that was going, oh, you really ate that, girl. You got it, girl. They just going to hand you the company. Here you go, Minnie Jin. You've caused enough trouble. We're going to reward you by handing a multi-million-dollar corporation that you can run. Here you go. Like, that was the plan? And then also secure outside investors? That was your plan? I'm like, surely, I said, I'm reading stuff like, surely, I don't know, maybe it'll come out in the court. But I'm like, surely that couldn't have just been her plan. Could it have? Because that's a dumbass plan. That's a bird brain plan. Remember when she claimed V called, girl, let me go off on that again. So, if y'all don't remember, or maybe you do, Minnie Jin got in an interview that she did with a YouTuber. She did an exclusive interview with a YouTuber. Apparently, he's BTS Army. I've never watched this person. I don't know who this person is. I forgot the name of the channel. It's like Music School, Music Story, something music. I don't know. So she did this interview, and she sat up there in the interview, and I watched this interview over and over and over again. And she sat up in this interview and said that BTS V called her on her birthday. Then she said that he texted her while he was in the military. And I watched this video, and again, I turned off the sound, And I said, let me read this body language. And then I got someone to translate it because she was speaking in Korean and people translated it. And I said, okay, okay. I said, let me watch with the sound off. Because y'all know I'll be the body language, I'll be the body language expert. So I turned the sound off and watch it. I said, I knew what she was doing. I saw through that. I came on a live stream and told everybody on my live stream, I know what she was doing. You know what Hee-jin was doing? First of all, the relationships in Korea is not like it is in the West. Men and women having kind of familiar relationships, unless you're related to somebody or in a relationship or dating somebody, especially when you're dealing with colleagues or somebody that she's an executive. So quote unquote, she's still kind of higher than V. And on top of that, she's older than him. So there is a power dynamic relationship in Korea. So it's age and it's also her position. The idea that Kim Tae-young, BTS V, messaging her. Wait a minute, let me back up. First of all, she worked with V on Layover. She was the creative director for and the producer for Layover, right? Right. Okay. So it's not like she didn't know V. Okay. So that just give you some background, but they worked together. The fact that she got on the interview and said that V called her on her birthday, a guy that's younger than her, a guy that is technically speaking her junior, and somebody that works with her in the same company. And then on top of that, she said that V text messaged her while he was in the military at midnight. Girl, Hee-jin, I peeped you, ho. I knew what she was doing. And I turned the volume off. And her, if you go back and watch that video, she said, well, he was in the military. And I was like, he's messaging me. And it was like, he said happy birthday. And then he messaged me one time and I'm like, aren't you in the military? That's her body language. Girl, come on. If you don't know Korea culture, those of us who know Korea culture, we were like, oh, hell no. I knew what she was doing. She was implying in so many words in a roundabout way that went over people's heads. People focused on the timeline. There's like, she's lying. She's lying. It turned out the math wasn't mathing. And she may have been lying or exaggerating, or she may have got the dates wrong. She never really clarified. So people were saying that she was trying to get V in trouble in the military because you're not supposed to have your phone be text messaging. I said, y'all don't get it. That's not what she's trying to do. I said, she's implying an improper relationship with a junior. That's what you're doing. If you know, you know. If you understand Korean culture, you know what she's doing. The moment she talking about V messaging her on her birthday, I was like, girl, really? Okay. And then she talking about V messaging her at midnight. I got on my live stream and I explained it to people and people are like, oh my God. I said, what kind of man is going to message you at midnight? What kind of relationship? I said, ladies in the West, if somebody messages you at midnight talking about WYD, what does that normally mean? Everybody was like, I say, now y'all know what she's trying to say. I said, she's trying to imply that V had some sort of attraction to her and some sort of things. Yes, she wanted to imply that BTS Kim Tae-young was doing something improper with her. She wanted to throw that out there so people would pick it up and be like, oh. And so a lot of armies, it went over their head because they thought that she was trying to get V. I said, no, she's not trying to get in trouble in the military. She's trying to imply that basically that Kim Tae-young V was her sneaky link. That's what she was trying to imply. Anytime somebody say happy birthday to you and they supposed to be in the military, and she was like, oh, well, he messaged me on my birthday. Huh? Okay. Yeah, he text messaged me at midnight. Really, Hee-jin, at midnight. Somebody that you work with that's supposed to be a colleague that's younger than you, and they text messaging you at midnight. What you trying to say? What she really was trying to say, she was trying to hem Kim Tae-young up and making him look like he was trying to put the moves on her in some sort of improper way. She wasn't implying friendship because in South Korea, that's not really a thing. Men and women in the same company, a junior and a senior, don't really have friendships like that. You have to keep it professional if it's professional. She was trying to imply that Kim Tae-young was trying to get her booty. That's what she was trying to imply. And the look on her face and the glee look on her face, I said, woman, I know what this is. The look on her face and the eating grin that she had, like, well, he messaged me and I didn't understand why he was messaging me. And I was like, aren't you supposed to be in the military? Girl, sit down, girl. Girl, I know what you're trying to do while you over there like, yeah, and he messaged me. If you go back and watch the video, that's how she acted. It was a coyish way that she said it. She didn't say it in a very professional way. She said it with a smile on her face and a little flip of the hair. And I said, girl, I know what you, I'm like, oh, that's what, oh, okay. That's what she was trying to do. She was trying to imply that Kim Tae-young was interested in her in some other way that was unprofessional in a roundabout way. And she's clever about it. That I could say, she with the media, Min Hee-jin is clever. But other than that, she's not very smart. So that's the reason she's not the head of multi-billion, because she's a fraud. She can't be trusted. And trust is very important in the Korean industry. She is weird and crazy and a liar. And she's good at Min Hee-jin, to me, in my opinion, by watching her videos, and I watched a lot of her interviews and stuff, even when she was at SM, they didn't like her at SM. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The room, allegedly, they didn't. They're people she rumpled feathers with. So when I tell y'all I get mad at Bang PD for bringing her on, I understand why he brought her on, because she did work with a lot of groups, and she did she is a good creative director. I'll give her that. Whether she should be a CEO executive, no. Some people just need to stay in their lane. She was a good creative director. She worked her way up in the industry. She knew a lot about the industry. You want to talk about where the bodies are buried? Min Hee-jin would be that person. She's been around in the industry circles enough to know a lot of things about a lot of people. So she's been in there. But Min Hee-jin is one of these people that can sell herself and talk good. She's one of those people. I don't know where that talent comes. That is a skill and a talent I don't particularly have, but I recognize that in her. She is one of these people that can talk her way out of anything. She is one of these people that can convince you that up is down and down is up. She's a good salesperson. That's what I heard from people who have worked with her. I heard allegedly from people that work with her, that's the type of person she is. She's very good at talking. Like, she's very good at smooth talking and sweet talking people. She can come across as being very, very professional and innocent one moment and then shrewd at the next. So she can be a shrewd business person, but then she can slap on that coyness and that cuteness. And so when they were talking about them cacao messages, when she talking about some executive, she should have just slept with him. I was like, well, man, it doesn't sound like that's your first rodeo. Sound like she knew what she was talking about when she was like, I should have just slept with him. Who talks like that in a professional setting? Who talks like that? Who's never done anything like that before? Who just says that? Well, I should have just slept with him. What? Why would you say that? Like, have you done this before? Like, that was a very fast, flippant thing to say. That's something I would never say as a professional person. Well, I should have just slept with him. Why would that even cross your mind? Unless you just, I said in another video, I said that wasn't Min Hee-jin's first rodeo. Because for her to put that out there in a cacao message that I should have just slept with him. Girl, what? Girl, what you talking about? Like, what? She a weirdo. But I heard that she's one of these people that got a good mouthpiece. That she talks a good game. You know, I work with someone like that, a crackhead that can cry their way out of a bag. Yeah, I work with people like that. That, baby, you be questioning your own reality. Well, I told them to do this and this, and you're like, wait, what? I didn't hear that. Like, wait, what? Did I hear that? Like, you be questioning your own reality. There's some people just lie very quickly. It rolls off the tongue a lot. There's some people can think on their feet real quick. They can sell themselves. She strikes me, from what I heard allegedly, she's that type of person. She's quick. She's quick. She can think on her feet real quick. She can make her skills out to be better than what they really are. And a lot of people, she rubbed a lot of people wrong at SM. And it's very unprofessional. Yeah, she's like, I got some swampland to say. Min Hee-jin she can sell herself and her own abilities and come across as very charming. And she knows how to rub people. She's the type of person that can read people real quick. Like, you can sit somebody down with her, she would have a conversation with her, and she would read what would work on that person. That's a skill, but you got to use that power for good. Min Hee-jin did not use her powers for good. That is a skill. That is a skill. For you can sit down and read people that quickly, just talk to them and be like, okay, if I talk to this person like this, they're going to capitulate. And from what I heard, allegedly, she knew how to work V. Like, she knew what to say, that he liked working with her, allegedly, because she knew how to talk to V. She knew how to kind of like stroke his ego. And that they worked good together. So because a lot of people are online sitting there saying, well, they didn't work good together. I said they did work good together. No, he liked her, not like in that way, but professionally, yes. Layover was a good album. Yeah, they worked good together. So I can't say that. But I think Min Hee-jin know how to talk to people. Allegedly, in my opinion, I think she's one of the people that just know how to talk to people. She know how to put charm the hell out of people. And so that there you go. Tay put up some very nice new pics with his his W photo shit he was looking at. So, you know, I mean, but people like that, like Min Hee-jin, you know, it just, you know, happens. So my third point about Min Hee-jin, because ADOR has barely scratched the surface. So the reason why I said Min Hee-jin, you in danger, girl, not only is the lawsuit in danger, because if they pull other messages proving that she did foster all of this environment and did things to try to take ADOR away from HYBE, then she's sunk. They're going to admissible in court. But my problem is the biggest thing of all, besides her losing the court case, if they release more cacao messages, if they get out to the public, like let's say they accidentally may drift to dispatch, I don't know, dispatch may get a hold of some messages. If she says anything about BTS, she might as well leave the fucking country. I said, whoa, is Min Hee-jin. That's why I said, Min Hee-jin, you in danger, girl. Because if any one of those messages, she is badmouth anybody, she might go run and hide and change her damn name and have plastic surgery. She might just go through a whole transition and become a damn man. Because if those messages are released and she is dragging Kim Tae-young or BTS, I'm going to pray for her. I'm going to be up here lighting a candle. Look what you doing, lighting a candle for Min Hee-jin, because I don't wish no harm upon her. But I am going to light Min Hee-jin, my dear. I will light a candle. I don't even believe in God, but I will say a prayer for you to the universe, because God forbid she is on a cacao mess talking reckless about Kim Tae-young, because Lord have mercy. If she's talking about to the shaman about FBTS, go butcher a pig, bitch. We finna set BTS on fire. I don't give a to hell with them. Girl, whew. I'm just going to be sitting here going, oh my God. Because the moment Army find out about that, Army going to be like, she said, what if she get? Because I heard, you didn't hear from me. I heard she was on a cacao message talking reckless about Kim Tae-young, baby. Baby, that's what I keep hearing. In these streets, as they say in the hood, these streets. I heard in these streets, allegedly, a rumor, take it with a grain of salt, that she was on cacao messages. She said some bad shit about Kim Tae-young. And I said, she better be praying to her shaman. That she better pray to the shaman. She better be like, oh my God, shaman. Oh my God. They got the cacao messages. I said some bad things about Kim Tae-young. Like, girl, I take it all back. She better run. She better go into hiding. Because if she come out and say something bad about Kim Tae-young, Lord, woe is her. Girl, she in danger. She might as well leave the country. Because armies is going to come for her. They're going to come for her neck. They're going to come for her throat. They're going to be like, what she say? Oh, get her. She better run. She better not never leave the house. Because army's going to come for her. If she gets all, if there are cacao messages like I hear saying that she was bad talking Kim Tae-young, even if she win the court case, I'll be like, go with God. Go with God. Because you're going to need divine intervention. People freaked out when they was talking about, yeah. Woo, she better ask her shaman. Because they was mad when it was found out she was trying to do some shaman stuff with BTS. But if she got on cacao messages and she was like, to hell with Kim Tae-young, this MF, oh my God. If she was telling the shaman, we need to go do something for BT, oh my God, Lord have mercy. I'm just going to be shaking my head. I was like, girl, you in danger, girl. So that's what I was talking about. I was like, the court case and all that, yeah. But if she is talking reckless about BTS and Kim Tae-young, and the dispatch is going to get a hold of it, best believe it will get out real quick. And armies is going to swarm. They're going to form up like Voltron. And armies will be on her ass like white on rice. They will be on her so quickly. Especially if she's talking real grimy about Kim Tae-young. She better hope to God she didn't say nothing bad. Because if she over there talking grimy about Kim Tae-young, out of all the BTS men, I mean, you can talk grimy about Sugar, people be upset. You can talk grimy about Jen and J-Hope, people be mad. But God damn it, don't you ever talk grimy about Jimin, Jungkook, or Kim Tae-young. Them three right there, out of everybody you choose to talk bad about, it be them three. People will lose their minds. They will be like, what? Like internationally, you will hear a scream. If she is on there talking reckless about Kim Tae-young and saying something about him or his talent or his personality, child, they Army gonna be like, no, the shaman can't help her. No shaman. I have heard that there are messages. Out of the 32,000 messages, a rumor I'm hearing from South Korea is that in those messages she was talking bad about Kim, that she may have said bad things about Kim Tae-young. That's what I heard allegedly. Y'all take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's true or not, but people are talking and they were saying that she talked bad about BTS. She talked bad about Kim Tae-young, and it might be stuff in there that is like real bad, like salacious kind of things. And if that comes, and if she said stuff like bad stuff about BTS, and Shaman ain't gonna help her. She gonna have to leave. I would be like, just leave Korea. She better hop on a plane and head to like the small. She can come to Texas in my small city. Now I don't know if it's gonna help her because if I see her, I'm snitching. But I'm just saying that she better go to the smallest town in the smallest city in the small. She better go to Wyoming or something because they're gonna be coming for her because they will come for her if she is. But that's what I've heard that she was talking reckless because they said Minnie Jin talk reckless about everybody. They said she just badmouthed everybody. Even if she smiled in their face, she would get in New Jeans' face and smile to their face. Allegedly, that's what I hear. Allegedly, that's what I heard. Allegedly, that she would get in New Jeans' face and play the mother role, like, "Oh, girls, you're doing so good. Y'all are so wonderful," and then turn around and pull up her cell phone and be like, "These fat bitches." That's the kind of person. So she may have been all like Tay, da 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 da, and then behind back, she may have been saying bad things about him. She may have been talking to the shaman like "F him." Them can't, yeah, like that's that, and I think that's one of the reasons why she wanted to keep the messages out. It doesn't put her in a good light, but I think that she said something in those messages that's gonna ruin her. I mean, ruin her like in the industry. And if she come out talking reckless about Kim Tae-young, her cut her days is over in the industry. Like she will have no peace in the industry. They will find if she go work for another company, armies will find her and harass her. They will be on her ass real quick. Like they be like, Minnie Jin has an overabundance of hubris, too much. Yeah, she talked crap about them from the shaman, but what I'm hearing is that these other messages, she really was talking shit, especially about Kim Tae-young. That's what I heard. So if those messages do get out, and she was saying something bad, I was like, why girl, don't do it. You better talk shit about somebody else. She picked the wrong, like she better be dragging TXT or something. I don't know. Like, girl, you need to drag somebody else, girl. Like, she understand when you talk about BTS, you better speak in hush tones. You'd be like, Army, they may come for me. But I guarantee she didn't think that her messages were going to get out when she started all this. She thought she was going to win. And like I said, her level of hubris and arrogance is amazing. I'm dumbfounded that she thought her little plan was going. She really do believe in herself a lot. Or in the shaman. I think part of it, I'm gonna tell y'all on the cool, in my own opinion, I think Min Hee-jin thought that she had some kind of supernatural power. I know that's. Listen, y'all. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds nuts to y'all. Like, I know that sounds crazy. But I honestly believe that Min Hee-jin thought that she had tapped into something of the divine. That she had her shaman. And then, like, a lot of people who believe in shamanism also do like home practices. They have like a home altar, and they do other things. Like there's talismans you can put on your walls. There's things that you can write on your hand. There's things you carry around in your purse. that will guarantee luck and success, talismans, notes, things that the objects, coins that the shaman may bless, necklaces that she may have wore, rings that she may have wore that may have been blessed by the shaman, keychains, anything. I really think Minhee Jin, part of her hubris was, I really do feel like, knowing the things that I've seen and read, that she was touched by the divine. She really thought that her gods were going to bless her and protect her because the shaman was telling her that. And then she got the spirit of her dead sister, and I think that that had something to do with it too. I think she probably thought she was protected by the spirit of her dead sister. Like, I think that was part of it too. And again, I know y'all that sounds crazy, but I really do. I think she thought she was covered by the divine. She thought she had the shaman on the main line. She thought she had the gods and goddess. She had every river dam and mount. She had every river god and mountain god on speed dial, cacao. And I'm not trying to belittle her faith. I'm not. Because the old ways, there is validity to that. But I think Minhee Jin just got too wrapped up into it. Like, she really did believe in like this spiritual, that she had some kind of spiritual higher calling, that like the gods were blessing her to go do this, that she had sacrificed enough pigs and gave enough money to the shaman and said enough prayers that she really thought, oh, I'm gonna get away with this because I have the divine on my side. And she ain't the only person that's thought stuff like this. Like, but she really did think that she, had spirits and gods guiding her. She believed she would keep the support of V and Jungkook due to them, to shaman about the fire and water thing with them. Yeah. Like, I think she really believed it. She really believed this shit. She really was all in. Like, I see from the cacao messages, oh, honey, she was a true believer. Like, she really think that the gods and the spirits were going to grant her adore, and that the things that she was doing, and God knows what she was doing behind closed doors. We don't know what she was doing with the shaman. So I don't know what, I don't know. I don't know what kind of rituals, what kind of, there's rituals, there's all kinds of things in shamanism. So I don't know how often she was doing this thing. And the more often you do these things, the more power she felt. And Minhee Jin has been successful throughout her career, and she was rising up the ranks, and then a chance to be CEO of ADOR. Like, she really thought, really, girl, that she was peak shaman. Like, she was like, I have peaked. I am peak shaman. I have been blessed by the divine. Like, she went all the way from like some intern, from what I heard, that built her way all the way up through SM. And here she was, a creative director. Now the CEO of ADOR underneath HYBE. HYBE, the parent company of the biggest boy band on earth. She thought she had ate it. And then she thought, once she got there, I think she didn't like the way the company was run and the things that she was required to do or not do. And I really think she thought, I could run this a lot better than all these people here. And I know better, and I've been in the business longer, and I'm smarter, and I'm more clever than all these fucking people. And these men suck, and they all suck, and these women suck, and I can do it a lot better. And I got the shaman, and I'm just gonna take over this company. And I have the mountain and the river god to bless me. Hello. Moonlight, hello. And like I said, she is the Lulu. She's the Lulu for sure. But I think that she feels like she's tapped in, like, all this court shit. Y'all like, why does Minhee Jin keep going with New Jeans and court case? Because I'm telling you, my theory is she thinks she has the gods on her side. Like, y'all are like, why would she continue to do this? Can't she see this a losing cause? Not if you a zealot. Do y'all understand? Do y'all see what I'm saying now? Like, logically, it makes no sense to us. Like, logically, we're like, why would she keep doing this? Why would New Jeans keep doing this? Why would the lawyers keep doing this? Because Minhee Jin is like, don't worry, girls. We have the divine on our side. That's what I'm telling you. So now, does it make sense now? When somebody thinks that they have tapped into some sort of higher power, that make people do all kinds of strange things. Like I've seen it. I've seen it many times. I've seen it in Christianity. When people think that they have power, and shamanism is about power. Like I said, I did a whole video on shamanism. It is about power. And it's about tapping into the gods and their power. When you feel like every that you've sacrificed enough and you've done things the right way and you've sacrificed enough in your religion that you've done everything the shaman is telling you to do, and the shaman is telling you to do certain things, and certain things are coming true. So you feel like, oh, the shaman is probably telling her, yeah, girl, it's going to be all good. And so you believe it. Well, the shaman told me, yeah, girl, it's going to be all good. So that's what I'm believing. So that's, I feel honestly, in my opinion, personal opinion, that's how she feels. That everything is going to go well for her because the shaman is telling her everything's going to work out. And then she feels like she has tapped into some sort of spirits, ghosts, her dead sister, a mountain god, a river god. Like she feels like she's tapped into these things, and that that everybody else is going to doubt her, but she has divine will. Like she has divinity on her side, and people like that. And I realized, oh, she's a zealot. Now I understood. I said, oh, she's a true believer. She's a zealot. Like she's not just using shaman just to get advice here and there. No, no, she's calling the shaman about everything. She probably called the shaman, cacao message shaman, asking what time she should take a bath to be cleaner. Like that, and I say that, and I say that in jest. But that's the kind of true believer she seemed. I said, oh, she wanted him. She all in. You know, she wanted him. The shaman probably picked out her house. Like I'm being funny, but I'm being serious. The shaman probably told her what neighborhood to move to. Like the dots are connecting, said that's scary. It is scary. It is. Why the shaman running? The shaman running and hiding because the shaman don't want to be sued. The shaman don't want to be caught up. And then the shaman wants to be in the background. Because shamans are always in the background. They don't want to be in the forefront of anything. So yeah, now y'all connected dots to see why none of this makes any sense. But then once you start seeing the religious aspects, you're like, okay, this kind of makes sense now. She really thinks she gonna win. She thinks she gonna win, despite all the odds, despite what the lawyers may have told her. She thinks she gonna win. And when a person has that kind of belief, it's unshakable. You can't shake a person's belief like that. When they are all in this shit, they all in. When they all in the occult, I've seen it. I've seen people be all in the occult in other ways, not just shamanism. I've seen people that are into like witchcraft and voodoo. When people are all in voodoo, they're all in voodoo. Like they are in it. Like they all the way in it. Like they live their life by it. They make decisions by it. When you get people who are into the occult and stuff like that, it really catches a hold of a person, like mentally and emotionally. And when they get wrapped up in situations like this, they don't ever think that they can lose. They think like, oh, I'm gonna win because I'm special. I'm the chosen person. And so, yeah. And so that's why I said Minnie Jin, she now y'all understand her. Like I mean, like for none of this shit made sense to me. I was like, why would she keep doing this? Like, what is she thinking? And then I was like, oh. And then when I was doing my video about the shamanism, it all made sense. Because there are people who really believe this shit. Everyone's gonna need to take a step back and let her sink on her own. Yeah, they do. Cult people believe in stupid things. They do. They lose their critical thinking skills because they're all in. When you think you're special and you're divine and you're walking with gods and spirits or God, and you think that you have tapped into something that nobody else has tapped into ever, and you have done things and you start to see success, then you convinced like, oh, I can't lose. I haven't lost. I always come out on top. Then her arrogance, yes, her hubris and her arrogance, that too. But I think like to understand Min Hee-jin, I feel like in my opinion, you have to understand the shamanism aspect that gets left out of this. But looking at those cacao messages, I went online, they translated his message. I knew, oh, she a real believer. This is not a recreational thing for her. This is not going to church on Sunday. This is not going to the mosque once a week. This is something that she lives. This is her lifestyle. Like this is something she takes very seriously. It's not something that's just okay. I need to invest some money, so I'll just call up the shaman and burn some incense. No, this is like, you know, like everything. Like I was so shocked. Like how many girls should be in the group? Which girls should be in the group? What's even the name of the group? Like I'm just like, girl, what? Like you asking the shaman how many girls should be in the group? Should it be this girl or that girl? What do you think about this girl? Does this girl give you a bad energy? I'm like, so the shaman pretty much made all the decisions. And whatever the shaman said, obviously she went with it because one girl did get bounced out the group. And it was five, it was seven girls originally, but the shaman said five would be a more divine number. So of course we got to get rid of two of y'all. Like I'm just sitting there going, oh, okay, that's weird. That's suspicious. Like that's just weird. Like source music is like, okay, it's gonna be seven, like BTS. The shaman's like, no, don't do seven, do five. No, not six, five. What about no? Get rid of her. Why? To her energy's bad. What? Like, so we listening to this? Yeah. Shaman's like, oh, they're gonna be successful. And then so Minnie Jin was going around telling people in cacao messages and at HYBE, she was telling people in the door that she was saying that new jeans were worth more than what they were worth. Yeah, because the shaman predicted that. The shaman projected how much they were going to be worth. So she was going around bragging and telling people new jeans is worth all these billions of won, and people were looking at her like, girl, what you talking about? They're not worth that much. That's not what the shaman said. The shaman said they was gonna be worth billion won. So that's what she was going around telling people. She was trying to manifest that shit. Minnie Jin did a lot of things that were manifesting, and I could see it in her actions and her things that she was saying. She was into that, like manifesting and words having power and actions having power and numbers and symbolisms and signs and times of day and all that. I said, girl, this is cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. Like this sounds crazier as it goes. I'm like, oh, this crazy. I said, oh nah. And like I said, I'm not trying to drag saying that her beliefs are crazy, but when you get to be where you're like handing over your logic and handing over your decisions to what the shaman was saying, allegedly, then I'm kind of like, okay, girl, who? Like, then it comes a little crazy. It comes a little off, you know. The lawyers are expensive. She gonna keep paying them lawyers. And the thing about this, these shamans, when I was researching my video, these shamans use rich and famous people all the time. They basically just go in there and just like tell them whatever. Like they, especially if they know they have a good sponsor. If they have somebody that is Minnie Jin Shaman's making $2 million a year. And I'm sure Minnie Jin isn't her own client. Then with the shamans, they get referrals. So if you get a high profile client as a shaman, and they will start recommending you to other executives and other people, that's more money for you. So once you get one well-to-do or wealthy client, you can spread your clientele because they will bring more people into you. These shamans, there are people who are wholly against shamans because people feel like they're running a racket. People feel like these shamans are frauds. Like they tell people what they want to hear, and the people just keep bringing them money. And so, a lot of people feel that way in South Korea, that these people are dangerous because they are making decisions for corporations, for governments. I talked about it in my video. The president in 2016, the lady president, she got impeached because her shaman bestie was making decisions. She was making decisions in the government based on what the shaman was saying. And the shaman was basically manipulating the president of South Korea in 2016. She was manipulating this lady. This lady got impeached. This lady's in prison. Both of these ladies are in prison because the shaman was taking hundreds of thousands of dollars a month because the president was sharing with her government and state secrets, asking the shaman what to do. And that's illegal. Like she was literally sharing classified information, asking the shaman what to do. And President Yoon, the most recent president that got impeached last year, he had a spiritual advisor that was a shaman. And you can see that he had symbols written on his palms to try to protect him from being impeached. And his shaman was telling him that he wasn't going to get impeached. Well, surprise, surprise, sir. Your shaman lied to you, bruh, because you got impeached. And you're not the president anymore. But he had a shaman too. So it's a thing in elites all these higher up peoples. CEOs, they use shamans all the time. But the fact that you're putting your whole life decisions on a shaman, I'm like, girl, I don't. So you understand her mindset. I didn't until I realized, oh, so this is what this is. On odd days, get out of bed on the right side. put your right foot over there on even days. She said, this is crazy. It is. Yeah, the shamans are known for greedy and being famous. And there are some shamans that have been known to be in cults. Like we talked about earlier about the religious cults in South Korea, how they blend shamanism with Christianity and make new religions. And then they have one guy or a couple that rules over the whole flock. Or they were talking about JYP is allegedly in a kind of a Christian shamanistic kind of cult. That JYP, he's been in this religion, he's very religious and been in this religion for quite a while, for like, I think 20 years. And some people say that that's one of the reasons why him and Bang PD used to be really, really close. And they friends now, but they had a big falling out years ago. And some people were saying that that's one of the reasons why they had a big falling out. That it had nothing to do, like they were trying to say it's something to do with like money or a group. But the other thing that people said, yes, it did have something to do with money and stuff like that, and songs and stuff like that. But the other part, people saying that he didn't like the fact that JYP got to be really, really overzealously religious. And he felt like, okay, this is kind of like a cult. And so him and Bang PD had a big falling out. But they're friends now. Now they're back friends. But they used to be real close. Really, really, really close. The story of JYP and Bang PD is interesting. They I write fan fiction on Wattpad, and I have like a whole like couple of excerpts where I really relate, like you really get a gist of their friendship because I write about it. My main character actually runs into it works for JYP and Bang PD because they went to LA for quite a few times. They went to California to hook up with and study underneath Sony executives. That's the truth. And I write this in fan fiction, but that's actually true. And Bang PD and JYP were good friends. They roomed together. They lived in the same home together. They toughed it out in LA for quite a while learning the business. And they were trying to take Korean groups and bring them to America. That was their dream. But then once they realized it wasn't working, then they kind of had like, a difference in opinions, but they were still friends. But they had a big falling out years later, and they didn't talk for a long time. But people were saying it's because of like music and business. And I was like, what I've been told, it was more than that. It's a little bit more than just music. That he around that time JYP started to be involved in heavily with this religion, and him and his wife. So there's a lot of controversy there with JYP. They used to live in the same apartment. They spent a lot of time together. They spent a lot of time together in California. And Bang PD wrote music for JYP, for the groups that they were trying to produce together. They were going to go in business together and create a company together. Like it wasn't supposed to be just Bang PD by himself. They were going to create a group together and a company together, and that was their dream. And then they had a big falling out, and people have guessed over the years what they fell out about, but I heard it was a lot of things, but that cult shit was one of them. That he was getting more wrapped up in that, and Bang PD is like, look, you know, I ain't down with this. I just want to create some music. Ah, oh, you love her? Great plot and flow. Oh my God, you read my Wattpad? Wait till y'all get to the, and then like all the smutty bits on my Wattpad has the most views because people like that the most. So y'all nasty. I can't stand army. I was like, if I write something sexual, then everybody's like, oh, let me read that. I said, y'all, I ain't trying to. I was like, we'll get to that in a minute. There's if you read my story, if you get all the way down to what's recent, there's about to be like a plot twist. It's about to be a heartbreaking plot twist. Like it's gonna be something you're gonna be like, dang. You're gonna be like, what? It's about to be a heartbreaking plot twist. So yeah, that y'all gonna feel bad for Yoongi. Y'all gonna be like, oh damn. And you see it coming too. Like I already put it out there. So you'll see the last story. You'll see it. You're like, oh no, I know where this is going. it's a kind of a heartbreaking little twist at the end, and then it'll just keep. Like I said, I've written so much of this story. I have everything like written down. All I do is just like take it and put it in Wattpad. But I have like a whole, like probably a whole book. But it's very realistic. And again, if you on my Wattpad and read my fan fiction on Wattpad, I'm Nomadic Kitty FF. I will tell you that you will read that. Some of that is people's real story. Like some of this is stuff that people have told me in the industry, like real stuff. Like not about falling in love with Yoongi. That's all fake. But some of the like real scenarios and the things that my main character gets into, you can see there's a dose of real. It's a healthy dose of realism there. Like it's real people who have experienced certain, especially when I talk about certain things with SM Entertainment. Those are real. That's almost real. Like almost. I had to tweak it a little bit, but if you read that part, SM did try to, y'all know BTS, y'all armies, y'all know that SM did try to sabotage Bong PD and BTS. Y'all already know that. It's been talked about by many different people. So that's not really, but as to what extent it went to, I write a little bit more because I know somebody that was around during that time. But y'all know SM tried to sabotage BTS. They tried to sabotage Big Hit. That they didn't like. They didn't like. Isuman did not like Bong PD. I can tell you that right now. He did not like him at all. He didn't like him at all. Isuman and Bong PD are such different people. Like if you like watch the Netflix documentary and you listen to the interviews, Isuman, which is the granddaddy of K-pop, they are such different people. Bong PD is so quiet and stern and kind of uncouth that like he rubs certain people the wrong way, like in the industry. And so, and Isuman is such like a he's much like a salesman. He's much more into like elegance and into how things look. And Bang PD is really not. Bang PD is a real kind of unassuming kind of guy, you know, from what I've heard. He's a very unassuming kind of quiet, a stern, but when he get down to business, he can be very blunt and very stern. But Isuman is much more slick. He's much more, I would say, highly educated, much more well bred than Bang PD, who just came from like a working class family. So I put some of that in my story. Like you'll see, stuff with him and JYP. Like that's it's almost real, almost. It didn't happen to me, but I know somebody that they did play that role. I do know somebody who did play that role. And so they told me like what they knew and what they heard. And so I just put that into my character and just changed things around a little bit. But a lot of it is based on reality. Like it's I try to put everything, I try to put all the little hints I can about the industry in this. And you will read some things and you be like, but it gets deep. Like we're gonna get like in my story, we're gonna get into SA about, the main character being SA'd and all kinds of stuff. And again, these are people that I know that they've been in the industry, like in the music industry, and they have been SA'd. And I know somebody that it has happened to. And it was horrific what she experienced in the industry, being SA'd by somebody. And so we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna put that in the story too. It's gonna be heartbreaking and sad, but I gotta put that in the story too, yeah. I will try to pull as much realism as I can and put it in my story. And that's why people's like, this seems very real. I'm like, some of it is. One day I'm gonna come on here and give y'all BTS tea. I know a little bit of BTS just enough to be dangerous. I told y'all a little bit of BTS earlier. Why y'all was trying to figure it out. I'm like, I gave y'all a little taste of the BTS earlier about somebody used to date somebody allegedly. She's a Chaewol's grandchild, and she dated a certain member of a boy group. Anyway, like this is very lewd. B-Lift and Soulja is gonna have a field day. Come on, that's why you love my stories. Yeah, because they real. Like you be like, I had people email me y'all all the time. They were like, "Is this real?" Like, what is? I had people like really, really, like emotionally invested in my stories. Like they are like, "Is this real?" I was like, I said, no, it's not. Like, not, I mean, not in that way. I'm like, they were like, is this really real? I was like, no. But it's plausible. You can see it happening though. Like everybody's like, I can really see this happening. I was like, but it's not real, not that I know of. Not that I know of, yeah. But it does seem very plausible. It's very realistic and very plausible. You know. So you be like, wait a minute. You're like, okay, what? What's it called? Is interest okay on Wattpad? My username on Wattpad is Nomadic Kitty FF. So just one word, Nomadic Kitty stands for Nomadic Kitty Fanfic. So Nomadic Kitty FF. That's me on Wattpad. And then I have a story called Yoongi and Key, which is like this, and I try to put like, it's a read. It's a bunch of like little, like each part is like a little story, and I try to break it up like that so people can read and go. Like if you want to read like two or three of them and then break off and come back and read. They're not overly long sections. It's just enough for people to read and be like, oh, okay. And so, because I hate when I read stuff and I read a section, it's really, really long and I get distracted with something else or the kids will call me. I hate that. So I try to make my pieces like not very long, like 7 to 1,000 words, and that's it. Because I know when I'm reading stuff, I hate when I go on Wattpad and I read people's chapters and they be really, really long, and I'll be like, where was I? I was like, I ain't gonna do that bullshit. I was like, when I make my chapters, they're gonna be straight to the point. They're gonna be like 700 words, move on to the next one. So you can read a little bit and then be like, okay, I'm finna go about my day. I have a lot of readers that they love it. They're like, I can come and read a couple of sections and I ain't gotta worry about, okay, I gotta pick this up because it's like 4,000 words. No. It's about 700 to 1,000 words. You can read it and be like, okay, boom, on to the next one. I try to make it very easy for people to read. And again, I didn't know people like on Wattpad, like I'm number one. I'm like in the top 10 of like many different categories. Like I like it gives me a list of all these categories that I'm like in the top 10. And so I'm like I'm top 10 in sugar, BTS fanfic, black women, music, like all these stuff. And I put everything in there because again, there's not a lot of stories out there about black women in K-pop, even though black women are in K-pop. There are black women producers, singers, backup singers, choreographers in and out of K-pop, especially a lot of writers and producers that are black women that are in K-pop. I mean, not a whole bunch, but I mean, saying that you would be surprised how many companies have collaborated with black writers. But I try to put it in there, as somebody who truly is an outsider due to her circumstances. But she speaks Korean. I wish I was fluent in Korean. I speak enough Korean just enough to be dangerous. But just to see like the end, like that world, and then like when the cultures clash, and then Key trying to explain, like her and Yoongi talk and she explains like her time in Korea and how she was treated. That is real. That is 100% real. That is all me right there. Like that is when you read that part, that is me talking to people because that all that happens. Um, the feeling of being exotic, the feeling of people men not taking you seriously, the have being in love with somebody Korean and having your heart broken because their parents don't like you and y'all can't be together. So I put that in the story as well. All that is that's 100% real. That's true to life because that all that happens. All that has it does happen. So I try to convey that her feelings of like, oh, another Korean dude trying to talk to me or something like, oh my God. Because Korean dudes will love bomb you. They will love bomb you big time. They will be like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're everything I want. And then you'll never meet their parents. You'll never meet their parents. Uh yeah, so it's a whole thing. Or their parents are gonna have a hard time approving of you. They're gonna ask you 1,000 questions. And some people they like dating foreign girls, but they won't marry one or be serious with one, but they'll have fun with you and they'll quote unquote date you, but then they don't want to be serious with you. So that's a huge part of my fan fiction story. It's just that the main character is like I'm not falling for this. Like, you're in a boy band. Like why am I even paying attention to you? You're in a boy band. And all the angst that comes behind that. It's like I don't want to get involved with a rapper from a boy band who's 9 years younger than me. Like, why would I, like it's a whole thing. So it's a lot of obstacles to get there, but we will get there. And the story is told in flashbacks. So it goes to 2023, then we'll go into flashbacks in the past, and then back to 2023. And baby, it once we get through the flashbacks, it will accelerate pretty quickly to the Yoongi scooter thing. And it'll be a baby, my fan fiction is gonna be a wild ride, honey. We got T.O.P. gonna show up. His backstory is gonna blow your mind. How he comes in all this. We talking about pregnancy. We talking about miscarriage. Like all of this is going to figure when they get to the Yoongi scooter thing. You gonna be like, what in the world? Like it's gonna be a whole thing, baby. It's gonna be babies, secret marriages, secret relationships, T.O.P. Because I love T.O.P. I was like, I gotta put T.O.P. in this story somewhere. I was like, how can I fit him in there? And I put him in a clever way. And baby, Burning Sun is gonna be in this story. My main character gonna roll up in Burning Sun in 2019 and be like, what the hell? So there's gonna be some Burning Sun revelations. There's gonna be some Burning Sun tea. I'm gonna drop in that story, and y'all gonna be like, y'all gonna be like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna throw my Burning Sun tea in there because I got some Burning Sun tea that I can't share, but I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of everything in there. Racism is very real in Korea. It is. It's pretty bad. I mean, it's not bad because I mean it's just different because Koreans they have not been around people of other races. So a lot of them don't know. They just know what they see on TV. And so they don't really know. So they just what they see on TV. I tell people I think it's in some ways it's easier for black women to date in Korea than it is here. I talk about it all the time, but dating in Korea is very different. It's not like the West. Dating is very I like Korean men. I prefer Korean men from Korea, not Korean American men. Because Korean men are very straightforward. They will tell you if they just want to lay and play, they will tell you they just want to lay and play. If they want something a little bit more, they will be straight up honest. Koreans don't waste no time in this whole will we, won't we, I'm gonna call you. No, they don't do all that. And Korean men will call you to death. Like it is jarring for an American where here you can barely get a guy to call you long enough, but in Korea, they will love bomb you. Like they come on very, very strong. So I can just imagine dating BTS members. I always think, how does that go? How does that go, girl? How does that? Because I know Korean men. Korean men Korea is conservative, but the men, they can be very forward, like intimacy speaking ways. Like Korean men can be very forward. I mean, very like, do you like this kind of sex? Do you like that? I mean, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I barely know you, but okay. Like they would just straight up ask you, do you do this? Do you do that? I've had Korean dudes like just, and then Korean women are like, yeah, that's just how they act. I'm like, Korean men will just tell you straight up, I like your hair, I like your eyes, I like your boobs. You have really nice boobs. Okay. I'm like, I think that's a compliment in there somewhere. Thanks. I like, are we like I'm like, like and not in a disrespectful way. They just very matter of fact, and they will love bomb you. Like I said, I have cacao. I had a dude. I had three different Korean dudes were cacao. We were cacao talking, and it was just nonstop. And like the guy I was low key dating, he would get mad because I didn't message him back in time. He's like, where are you at, baby? Where are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. He's like, why have you messaged me? Where you like that? Like, and some women don't like that. I don't mind it, but it's hard to get. It was jarring to get used to because American men don't do that. But yes, Korean men will hound you. They will be like, what are you doing? Where are you going? I mean, this dude would call me and Cacao message me live while we were eating. Like he would be like, I'm eating. And then he would just sit there, he would sit there. He would call me. He'd be like, baby, what you doing? And I'm like, nothing. And he would just sit there and eat. I was like, I don't know, is this a mukbang? Like, what is happening? I didn't know he would just sit there and eat and watch me. And I'm just like, you look so pretty today. Thanks. Like, I'm like, I gotta go because why? I mean, I gotta do laundry. You can do laundry on the phone. I guess. Like, yeah, I can. He's like, I'm eating. You can do laundry on the phone. Oh, okay. Just set the phone up. I'm just like, okay, let me set the phone. Oh, oh, yeah. Hello, are you a foreigner? Are you open minded? Yes, girl. Oh my God. Girl, yeah, Namjoon, I'll be like, oh my God. I can just imagine the BTS members that some of them are a bit more reserved, but some of them I could figure like that they're total bugaboos because what we would consider bugaboos. So I can understand that like if a Korean guy is like if they're famous enough and they're picking up foreign women, that sometimes foreign women may find it a bit off-putting that they are so aggressive. Because some women take it as like some people telling me that like that Korean men are sex pests and they're really aggressive. And I was like, I think it's just a culture. And I asked one dude that. I asked the dude, I was like, Opa, because he was older. Like I dated this Korean dude from Korea and he was like 58. And he was divorced and his kids. And I was like, Opa, I said, why? I said, why are Korean men so aggressive? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, when you first start talking to them, they really pour it on thick. And then my Opa told me, he said, uh, why would I talk to you and want another guy to talk to you? So that's why. And I was like, oh, so that's what that is? He's like, yeah. He's like, Korean guys understand. They're like, it's competition. He's like, Korean men are very competitive. So Korean men are very competitive. And they feel like if you are talking to them, they feel like, well, they don't want you to talk to another man. So they're going to pour it on thick. They're going to call you all the time. Again, I had to sit there and do laundry with my Opa. I was like, Opa. I was like, Anyo, I want to say, oh, Opa. So, Opa. He said, what, baby? I said, I'm trying to do laundry. He said, do laundry on the phone. That's what he said. He said, you do laundry on the phone. I said, oh, okay. And he would, like I said, I'm not lying. He would literally call me and just sit there and eat and stare at me. And I'm just like, I was like, so how was your day? And he was like, my day is okay. I was eating ramen. And I was like, okay, are we going to talk about anything? Because, it's like he spoke English, but not a lot. But he was like, no, I just called because I want to stare at you. That's what he told me. He said, I want to call. He's like, I could Kakao talk a message because I want to see you. And that's what he did. He would sit there for a whole hour and eat and stare at me. And that was it. Then he'd be like, I'll call you tomorrow morning. And we were in two different time zones. And so he would call me like clockwork. Like he would be like, baby, what are you doing? And he would Kakao message me all day. Like it's nighttime, my night. They're 12 hours. So Korea's 12 hours ahead. So my phone would be going off all night. And he know I'm asleep, but he was like, I know you're asleep, but I want you to see the messages when you wake up in the morning. I was like, Opa, that's so sweet. She said, I love my husband. I wouldn't want him watching everything I do. What about a Japanese guy? I have never dated a Japanese guy, but I heard that Japanese guys and Korean guys are very different. They're very different. Like Japanese guys are less sneaky about their stuff. Korean guys, like I said, they come across as being very conservative, but once you talk to them and get to know them, they're just like any other guy. It sometimes even worse. I think Korean guys are more sexual. I really do. I think there's a tinge of them that is kind of like a sex pest. And a lot of foreign girls say that. But I don't know if they just do that because you're a foreign girl. But I hear from Korean women all the time that they're all sex pests, that they're all creepy and weird. I'm like, okay, psychological well, be careful, stalker. I didn't talk to my ex-boyfriend for weeks and it didn't change anything. We were just busy. You were just busy. She like, girl, I'm busy, boy. Why I ain't got time? I'm like, oh my God, like I'm just busy. No, Korean dudes don't believe in that. They like if you're talking to them, they want to make sure that you're not talking to anybody else, that they have your attention. And I like it. I like it. Like I said, some women consider it to be off-putting and smothering and pestering, but that's just when a Korean dude is interested, you will know. It won't be a vague thing. It won't be like, I think I'm interested and I'm just gonna talk to you a little bit. And no, it's not. And I don't like vague. I'm a very intentional person. Like I'm a very like, okay, are we gonna do this or not? Korean guys are like, are we gonna do this or not? And I like that. I'm not a beat around the bush kind of person. If we like each other and we're interested, then I want to know that you're interested. I don't have to guess. Maybe there might be interested. I don't know. I don't like that in America. That you have to kind of guess. Oh, you got to play this game. Korean dudes don't play that game. Korean dudes will be buying. Like I said, I had an oppa and an older dude in South Korea, and he would send me gifts. He would buy me things. I have a crown. Y'all want to see my crown? I think, have you seen my crown? I'll show y'all my crown. Hold on. Let me go get it. Let me put my glasses on because I can't see. But wait, hold on. I'll be right back, y'all. Oh, oh, H-E-N-O. Hello, hello. So I've had several stalkers, okay? So there's a one YouTuber guy that was a stalker. Um I didn't date him though, but he like anyway. I have so many stories. Like I have stories of being I did have a stalker, like an online stalker, right? Okay. So, oh, it's heavy. So I had a stalker, right? So this and so my Opa would call me and I'll be like, Opa. And he's like, where's your crown at? And I was like, so I was Queen Kiki is back. I've returned. So I would sit on my live stream. I know this is gonna sound real crazy. I would sit on live streams like this. Like I would cacao live stream. He'd be like, put the crown on. I'm like, I'd just be like, you ran to a stalker online and he was normal for like 5 minutes and then he went wild. I have not experienced a lot of that, believe it or not. But I did, like, let me tell y'all, I would tell y'all one day, we will have story time, and I would tell y'all about a YouTuber that stalked me. And he has like 500,000 subscribers. So like he's not K-pop, not even close. He is I can tell you he's an ASMR. He's an ASMR YouTuber that stalked me. And he wanted me to go to his I won't say what country he's from, because if I say what country he's from, y'all, he's not from America. But he wanted me to come to his country and like he's married and he wanted me to be like his other wife. You died here? Girl, what you died? What you laughing about, Marsha? So yeah, I'd have to sit on the live streams. And then I have a mask. Look, okay, it done got weird. Oh my God. It's got weird. It just got real weird. So anyway, so I have this mask. Y'all are like, Keisha, it's getting weird. It's getting weird. It got weird. Like it's getting weird, y'all. It's just getting weird right now. Cause the more I describe this, like the crazier it sounds. And then like it's not really that crazy, y'all, but it's not. It was like so we would sit on live streams and I'll be like, okay. I'm like, Opa, like, is this good? And he's like, that's perfect. Let me just look at you. Like, what? Tell us, girl. And so wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna need something stronger than that. I'll be right back. I forgot. I forgot. Oh, I forgot, girls. I forgot. Okay. All right, ladies. I'm back. So I almost forgot. Okay. So I would get on the line. Okay. So then he be he be like, well, put the he be like, okay. He's like, okay, girl. He's like, okay, let me get it right here. Then he be like, well, put the mask on. So, so I be on live streams like this, girl. Don't do me. Don't you do me. Oh my God, he probably is. Don't do me. So I'll be on a live stream like this. Are you serious? Look. Y'all laugh? Why y'all laughing? Y'all ain't right. So I will be on the live stream like this. There you go. She said, are you kidding? Girl, I am dead serious. This is what my Oprah wanted to see. He wanted fantasy. He was really into K-pop too. That's how we met. Like he was into K-pop. Right. I should do my next live stream. This thing weighs about like 5 pounds. I don't know why y'all. Yeah. For how long? I don't know, like an hour or so. This thing's heavy. I was like, Oprah, this thing's heavy. And he'd be like, just leave it on, just leave it on. I was like, okay. So look, listen. Silent. Oh, girl. I won't get into what else I had to put on, but anyway. I won't get into the outfit that I had to put on, but that's another time for another story. I'm like, what do you want me to wear? I'm like, well, okay. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes. He paid for it. He bought all of this. He bought the outfit, all of it. So what am I supposed to be like? No. I'm like, well, if you're gonna buy it, it ain't no lesson. It's just it ain't nothing. It is really no lesson, Like I said, and I did have a stalker. There is a guy, even my kids knew about this. There is a guy, let me tell y'all the story. Let me tell y'all this story and I'm gonna leave. There is a guy that has an ASMR channel, a big one. And he is not from America. And I sent him a message on what is it? Not Patreon. I don't know. I forgot. I sent him a message on, I think, Instagram or something, asking him about his channel. Like I was first starting this channel when my channel was like an information type of channel. So I was a fan of his channel. And so one day I was like, I'm bored. I sent him a message. Now, when you send somebody a message, a YouTuber, especially one, at that time he had 250,000 followers. So now he has like 500,000. So I'm thinking like, okay, he's not going to respond to little old me. But I told him, I was like, look, I'm a content creator and I need some tips and I really like your videos, blah, 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 blah. And so I didn't think he was going to respond. He responded and he was like, oh yeah, hey, da, da, da. He responded like a couple of days later. And so, and then whatever. And then like he was talking about like, I was like, well, he's a creative and I'm a creative and he also writes. And so I like to write. So I was like, okay, well, can you give me some tips? Like, cause he has a Patreon and all this kind of stuff. And he was telling me some things. And then after like a couple of weeks, like it turned into like him asking me personal stuff. And I didn't think, I was like, okay, we're just being cool. I didn't think nothing about it. then it just took a turn. And then I remember my sister-in-law called me and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know, because I can never tell if people are interested in me or not. Like, I don't know if people are hitting on me or they're being friendly. So I told my sister-in-law, I sent a screenshot and I was like, what do you think about this message? And she was like, he sound like a creeper. That's what she said. He sound like a creeper. And I was like, well, I forgot what the message was, but I thought it kind of sounded over the line, but then not really. So I just thought maybe he was trying to be flirty. Girl, to make a long story short, this dude was married. I knew this dude. He told me he was married. To make a long story short, eventually the conversation died, watered down into him wanting to send me, I said, wait a minute, you got a wife. He's like, oh, well, she's cool with it. Him wanting to send me a plane ticket to his country, because he asked me if I had a passport. I did. I do. I was like, yeah, I do. He wanted to send me a plane ticket to his country. And he's like into some kind of like, spiritistic practices like Wiccan or something like witchcraft, right? So he was talking about that. And I was like, okay, yeah, I know about that. He wanted me to come to England. And he was like, well, you could move in with me. Well, first you would come and visit, and then you can move in with me and be like a sister wife kind of situation. I said, sir, I have 2 kids. And he was like, you can bring your kids and come live with me and my wife. I was like, I have my own house, my own shit. And I was like, no. So I was like, no, this dude would not take no for an answer. This dude would send me messages saying, why don't you come along quietly? Why? I don't understand why you're behaving this way. Blah, blah, blah. I know you like me. Da, 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 da. This is a YouTuber, okay? I just ignored him and didn't know what to say. So one night, I was sitting around, and y'all know I like to research. Okay. So 2 o'clock in the morning, y'all know I got insomnia. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna research this YouTuber to see if just to see what other accounts that he had. Because I found out he had a Tumblr account, and he was on the Tumblr account talking some really weird, inappropriate sexual stuff. So I was just starting to look around with him. All suddenly, this Twitter account popped up where somebody, and I said, what is this? And somebody was mentioning him in a Twitter account. Bay. Girl, what I read on this Twitter account is that when I started talking to this dude, this was a year and a half ago, around the time of the pandemic, like 2020, 2021, don't you know that this dude was online talking to all these different females, showing them his private parts. He was talking to 2 or 3 different females. One of these females he invited to England. Oh, anyway, one of these females he invited to his home country, and he had an affair with her over 6 months while talking to one of her other online friends. She's a content creator too. And then when she found out, baby, she found out he told her that him and his wife were separated. They were not. Baby, when she found out that he was talking to this other chick, she went on Twitter and exposed him, girl. She exposed him. She exposed him, girl. She wrote this whole thing on Twitter talking about, do not subscribe to this man's channel, blah, 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 blah. Eventually, he suspended his channel for a little bit. And he had an online group online on Instagram that he took down and everything. Girl, we heard England twice, girl. Yeah, he's from England, okay. Girl, this dude was a sex pest. This dude was talking to multiple females. So this was 2 years before I even met him. And so he had closed all of his Twitter accounts. He had got rid of the group chat for his channel. I found it, my jaw dropped. I screenshot it and I told my sister-in-law, I was like, girl, she's like, I told you, girl, this dude got caught. There is a video on YouTube about this dude. There is a whole ass video about this that another YouTuber made, was like, don't subscribe to this dude's channel. This dude did this and this, and it's still on YouTube. Like, I saw it the other day. And I didn't know none of this when I was talking to him. So it turns out this dude was, and eventually I had to block this dude. Like on Insta, I had to block him because he would not take no for an answer. And then like months later, he would change accounts and he would hit me up and he'd be like, "You're so beautiful, you're so pretty, da 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 da. Like, I just want to be with you." And I'm like, "Oh no." And my kids found out about it. My kids was like, because he would text message me at all hours. And my kids be like, who is messaging you? Because people don't be messaging me like that. My kids be like, Mama, who that? And then they would see, and they were like, is that the YouTube guy you watch? I said, yeah. And I was like, oh, kids, we're just friends. And then like the phone would go off. And then one time my kid looked at my phone and he was like, well, why don't you pick up and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, my kids are like, who, what? Is this the same dude that's on YouTube? I was like, yeah. They were like, why is he mad at you? I was like, kids. I was like, he's a stalker. And my kids were like, are you for real? Like he's a real stalker? I said, he won't. Girl, he was blowing up. I didn't even do nothing. Like I did nothing. I did nothing to this dude. Like at all. Like I did nothing. Like I don't know. This dude was like we had some good conversations about like religion and politics. Girl, he was like just fixated on me for some reason. And he was like, well, I've never been with a black woman before. And I'm like, here we go. Here we go. I'm like, ugh. He was like, I'm so serious. I mean, this dude was ready to send me a ticket. He's like, just come visit me. And I was like, what about your wife? He's like, she won't care. She'll be okay. So, and this dude was obsessed. Like, yeah, I don't understand it. Like, little old me, I don't do nothing to nobody. Like, I'm so single. I've been single for years, and I'm just like, that ain't gonna end anytime soon. My kids are smart. He was gonna lock you up. Girl, I was afraid, but my sister-in-law's like, I swear to God, if that man sends you a plane ticket, don't you get on no plane. She's like, girl, you gonna be missing like a motherfucker. I was like, my sister-in-law was like, you're gonna be missing. I was like, I told my sister-in-law, there's no way in hell I would hop on a plane to meet some dude that I don't know, I've never met before, that is a low-key stalker. Like, I mean, he wouldn't tell. I mean, he was not accepting no for an answer. He's like, you just need to be with me. Like I can make you my wife. Oh God, my phone died. Oh my God, yeah. I'm sorry, y'all, but I that's my stalker story. I will. That's my stalker story for the week. But yes, my phone crashed and died. But anyway, this is the end. Yeah, I'm back. Hey, I'm back. But this is the end of my live stream. I will come back next week and I will tell y'all much more stories if I have a chance. And then I will tell y'all all about my weird internet stalker stories. But yes, I came back. Sorry, y'all. Do I have another crown on? This is the same one. It's just I'm gonna come out. It's a two-parter. It's a two-piece. This thing is heavy. Like, y'all, this thing be heavy. But anyway, that's the end of my live stream. I've been doing this for 3 hours, y'all. And I'm supposed to make a cake. It's like 10 o'clock at night here. But I will come on next weekend and we will talk more and I will have more topics. But I appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to my channel. I had a good time. Y'all know what kind of life I be doing, girl. Yeah, like y'all will see me next week. Next weekend I'll come and tell y'all. Bye for now. Miss Men. Anyway, y'all. Good night. Next weekend. Bye. Yep, hopefully you can catch it. Bye. What?